Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to the Adventure Continues, the Star Trek discussion, a bi-weekly Saturday night program where we take one specific episode, or in some cases, like tonight, two specific episodes from a particular series, and we watch and discuss them during the hour or 2 hours or up to 3 hours, because that's how long I would want the show to go at the most. But we take a look at an episode from the original series, the animated series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise, and we watch them over in Cosme. And we analyze the episode by what we're seeing. Of course, we recall moments of the episode when we first watched it, when it originally aired. Of course, these two episodes that we're talking about tonight are, of course, from season 1 of Star Trek Voyager, which only had 15 episodes for its first season, considering it only premiered in January of 1995. So we were grateful to get those 15 episodes, and even those 15 episodes are better quality episodes than what we get a lot these days in television, at least in my opinion. And yes, this still shows Voyager trying to find its footing, but you can expect that from a series that's only just beginning. But joining me tonight, you know them, you love them. They're my co-hosts of Pacific 4 and 4 Pop Talk, Baron Norman Tag, and Cash Money 007. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing okay.
Doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I mean, Cash is doing good. But, hear me out, please. Hear me out totally. I think there's another show that needs to be added onto your Adventure Continues series here. Absolutely hysterical. The crew are puppets. It's just absolutely crazy. And that show is called Pigs in Space. I have never laughed my ass off so much after I saw that first episode of Pigs in Space.
Yes, and if anyone's not familiar with Pigs in Space, it was one of the sketches that they did on the Muppet Show. It had Miss Piggy and a few other pig characters, and you could say it was a spoof of Star Trek with the things that they had going on. And of course,
definitely.
A lot of us of a certain age will always remember its intro saying, "Pigs in Space!"
Which means an imitation show ripped it off. Why am I not?
Mm-hmm. Yes. This week, Strange New Worlds aired their episode called, I don't know, was it Level 5? Transporter accident. So something to do with a level 5 transporter malfunction, and the whole crew turns into puppets except for their version of Spock. Not Leonard Nimoy's Spock.
Ours actually Quintos. No, I mean, again, I've made it known. Voyager is not my favorite Star Trek. In fact, of the shows that, the original era of Star Trek, the Golden Age, is probably my least favorite. Oddly enough, one of my favorite pilots, but it's my least favorite Star Trek. But there's one thing I can sit back and say: it's Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And so Space, highly dismissed.
Yes, I was just going to say, I want to say hello to the Admiral herself, the keeper of the void, the guardian of the void, the keeper of the dragons, Lady Mist. Good evening, Admiral. And I also want to say hello to the show's science officer, DJ Ronnie G. Probably analyzing something in the science lab right now.
Don't turn us into turtles. Don't turn us into turtles. Our puppets.
I'd rather encounter a turtle species than see an episode of actual Star Trek that involves puppets. It's like I was telling you backstage, Baron. I wouldn't care if something like this happened on the Muppet Show, where they were spoofing Star Trek, and they had puppets that were wearing Starfleet uniforms. They had a bridge set that looked a little bit, but not exactly like the bridge set of the Enterprise, which is what Pigs in Space was. But to have it be an actual episode of Star Trek, no. Sorry, I got a funny bone, but when it comes to Star Trek is supposed to be serious with an occasional funny episode thrown in there to lighten the mood of the season, especially during the Dominion War.
I mean, Star Trek had been spoofed and had fun of throughout its entire time, and brilliantly so. Like the original John Belushi Star Trek, the spoof that they had, the final voyage, you might see, or even
that's the one where it's him and Dan Aykroyd, and they're removing different pieces of the set, and
if
that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Chevy chases Spock, and he's trying to remain character. The guy comes by. I think it's Elliot Gould. He comes by, rips the ears off, saying about, we probably get a couple dollars for this, and Chevy's still trying to remain character, and then he breaks down, and it's like, they took my ears.
Family Guy did a few times with it. They did a cutaway or a clip within Family Guy.
Simpsons says spoof Star Trek.
Yes.
Animaniacs is spoof Star Trek.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, the Mighty Mouse, the Ralph Bakshi episodes of Mighty Mouse, they made fun of Star Trek, particularly William Shatner and his toupee, because his toupee went on a killing streak or a rampage. But you look at it too. Is Mark Hamill appeared on the Muppet Show, and they were making fun of Star Wars, and Gonzo was Darth Vader. I mean, hysterical.
Yeah, and again, I have nothing against having a fun episode, a whimsical episode. But if it's going to involve the Muppets, then let it be on a Muppet show, not an actual Star Trek show.
Except Donnie and Marie. Don't let Donnie and Marie do it, except for the fact that Red Fox did make a great Obi-Wan. You fool. You big dummy.
But everybody, if you're not over in the Cosme section right now, that link is pinned to the chat on YouTube and Rumble. I usually have to wait until the stream goes live over on Blaze before I can actually pin it, so I'm doing that right now. So if you would like to watch the episode along with us, episode 1 or episode 2 or both, you're more than welcome to, as I have the link pinned into the Blaze side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And again, Baron, you were telling me backstage you're not really sure if you've actually seen one or both of these episodes before. So these actually might be something new for you.
They might be, yeah. I mean, I never really watched it because it wasn't my cup of tea. I may have seen episode 4, Phage, but
Phage, yeah.
That's that one with the Romulan. I might have seen that one. I can't remember, but
no, Phage. It's our first introduction to the Vidians.
Ooh, Vidians.
Yes.
Rock me, Vidians. Oh, hey, look. Hey, they put a Muppet on this show too. Listen to that.
Janeway is a competent captain, though. So.
Is she though?
I think so.
But see, if you notice, even in that captain's log, Janeway's talking about Voyagers having a power shortage.
At least she's not talking about her feet, Baron. Come on, man. There's got to be a silver lining somewhere.
Well, because this is real Trek.
That's right.
I like that they have windows in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Belana.
And the reason why they have the windows in the hallway is because when you look at the Voyager model, there are windows along the secondary hull.
Yep.
Oh,
The start of a good morning.
All right, Cosmic, be good to me. All right, yeah, it's fine.
Yes, the introduction of the kitchen.
Yep.
And it's still kind of funny, even in the 24th century here, there's still a bit of a class system where she has a private lunchroom.
Mhm.
Well, but the thing is where was Kirk always seen eating with the rest of the crew?
Yeah.
His chicken soup, chicken tribble soup, I should say.
But that's how I think it should be. The captain should be eating with their crew.
Yes.
Right.
And hello, Lady Miss. And hello, DJ Ronnie G.
And yes, good to see DJs with us tonight.
Why did she need that? She's got herself a ready room. You know?
Yeah, she's got her ready room. She has her quarters.
Yeah, later.
Green. Chartreuse is green.
Okay. Obtuse.
The only reason I still remember that is because a friend of mine, after we saw this episode, we were looking up to see what chartreuse meant.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, 3 spinal columns.
But Baron, I understand about not feeling Trek, man. I mean, when I first, long time ago, watched Deep Space Nine, it just wasn't clicking with me until,
Mm-hmm.
watching it later now, analyzing things more. I'm like, this show is really dang good.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine is one of the best of the spin-offs.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do not just with the stories that they were talking about on Deep Space Nine, but also the character development. You had your main characters who had development, and you had your supporting characters that were given development, and reoccurring guest characters that would have development.
And in fact, they relied on returning guests much more than the other series.
Yeah. And those recurring characters became very popular.
As they should. Even the doctor's grown on me in Deep Space Nine. I kind of like, this guy has his head up his ass, but I'm like, no, let's give him a chance.
Well, that's the thing too. You mentioned Bashir.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like him at first, but then he grew on me because of the character development, the character arc they set him on.
And becoming pals with Miles.
Yeah, that helped his character development too.
Well, I still, it's just funny because, my brother and I, it's like, there's certain episodes that I remember from even Voyager, and of course, without Voyager, we wouldn't get Elite Force, but there's
well, without Voyager, there wouldn't be Enterprise because that was the next series in line. Unfortunately, the final series under the Berman era.
Under real Trek.
Mm-hmm. But Phil will always have a problem with Captain Archer. I'm like, how can you, well, whatever.
He expects him to leap out any moment. That's why.
You know that's Phil's opinion. He doesn't like Captain Archer.
You don't like him.
I don't hate Janeway, but she's not my favorite captain.
No.
No, and I think the other thing too is just to remember that Archer is not a Starfleet captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Earth captain.
Right.
So he's approaching it differently than the other
That's
captain.
right. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. He's writing the book. The book was already written by the time of Kirk, Picard, Sisko, and Janeway.
But yeah, I mean, this Voyager has episodes that are just fun, like the one where they get to San Francisco, even the one with Sarah Silverman of all people.
Yeah,
but that's actually a fun episode, surprisingly. But yeah, that's before we knew more about that woman. So
the woman who broke Jimmy Kimmel,
right?
No, I mean,
he broke
really,
himself
honestly,
too. He broke himself.
Yeah,
too,
but she broke him too. It's been made known.
And Anonymous, it's good to see you this evening.
Hey, Anonymous.
Do.
But
is empty.
And it's very unfortunate too that a lot of these people, they are actors obviously, but in real life they're just
And I know I've already asked this question, and that was during Caretaker. But what did you think of the wrist flashlights that they used in Voyager compared to the handheld ones that they use in other series?
It makes sense.
They don't bother me. Yeah, yeah.
They keep the hand free.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to be quiet. Anonymous is under cloak.
Be very, very quiet.
Well,
unlike the Starfleet.
I make no apologies for using anti-proton scans and being able to detect a cloaked ship.
Taser. And of course, a character that was both these characters that were done so wrong in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say that's another thing. You would want the emergency medical hologram to know where everything's stored in sickbay too, not just have the medical knowledge.
That's true. And you figure he would. He's part of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I definitely do not remember this episode.
Okay.
I barely remember this one. Hey, look, they're having EV night. Substitute teacher.
I mean, if that's the most obvious looking TV, I don't know what is.
I think
and card that's straight from the school.
I think if I could be wrong about this, but I think Voyager was usually when it first aired, when it was still on TV.
With that,
I think it was Thursdays they showed it. I could
Mondays.
Be wrong about that.
Mondays.
Yeah, Mondays.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays at 8:00, and then they moved it to 9:00.
Okay. Mondays, jeez.
Oh, God.
And Lady Miss says she likes Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
again, it's not my favorite. Like Deep Space Nine became my favorite because even when you had Next Generation ending and then you had Deep Space Nine still going, and then Voyager started, Next Generation was still my favorite. But as you know, Deep Space Nine goes along, and by the end of its run, it became my number one of the spinoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And like I've said, it's because of the character development. DJ says this was the episode where Neelix was briefly improved.
You guys are so down on Neelix.
A lot of people didn't like Neelix.
No.
It's interesting.
And Anonymous says, is it me or things just go horribly wrong?
Yes,
So
do that.
It was
Right
funny
now.
seeing Robert Picardo in an episode of The Orville.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He was good in that, though. He was good.
Yeah, he was. I mean, the first time I remember seeing Robert Picardo was on The Wonder Years.
Good stuff.
The first one was
The
Howling for me.
Oh,
Mhm.
The Howling.
He was.
And then, of course, you know, watching Total Recall and seeing him there.
That's right. Was in there, yeah.
He was a taxi cab driver, the
Mhm.
Omnicab or whatever it was called. I can't remember the exact name right now.
Yeah, he was a voice, and they made a Muppet out of him. Whoa! Hey, wait a moment! I haven't seen a thing here.
The Cowboy for Inner Space. It's when Anonymous first saw him.
Ah.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, I think this is where they're kind of pushing a little bit. No, my
one of my issues with this episode going, how could that work? How could holographic lungs help Neelix breathe? Yeah, they're showing that the doctor can slap Tom Paris, but you just saw the doctor go to the bio bed, hit a few buttons, and you get the techno babble here.
Yeah. The thing is Paris would have known this already.
Mm-hmm.
Another person was done wrong.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she fell into a bad habit, and
yep,
it hurt her career.
Well, that happens with some of these people. They think they're all that, and
unfortunately, hers was a drug habit.
Yeah, I don't think that was her. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Just like Gracie Lynch, Whitney had a drug problem and alcohol.
Actors having drug issues? No, that can't be.
Unfortunately, it's still occurring today in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And DJ says they use phase discriminators to project force fields through the pores of his skin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you guys this. How would you have felt if they decided to kill Neelix 4 episodes in
I don't
to
know.
the series?
That wouldn't have bothered me. I
At
mean,
the
honestly,
time,
it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't know. Even my a lot younger self, I'm not sure. Now it probably doesn't matter to me. I just,
And I know I said it before too, but you know, my usual big problem with this show was the almost had it, almost had it, the Lost in Space thing. And it's like, no, we already had Lost in Space. We don't need that. Almost had it.
Yeah, there was always an episode in the season where Voyager had an opportunity to get home, and it never happened until, of course, the finale.
Mm-hmm. And maybe more than just one a season too.
And DJ says that it works as long as your computer is constantly compensating for the phase variance. I kind of would have missed him, says DJ, when it comes to Neelix.
Before I analyzed all of Voyager, started analyzing, I just went, yeah, I like the show. It was interesting. I didn't mind the captain. I didn't mind certain episodes. Now, of course, it's just everything's different. Now I want to analyze all this stuff all the time. So.
Which is understandable.
Yes.
Especially as you got older.
But, and, I still like the music in Voyager. I still love the intro. I love the way the ship looks. Always have.
Mm-hmm.
So you like the baby spoon starship?
Yeah, it looks.
Always remind me of a baby spoon.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Not to sound cruel, but just the design.
And DJ says about Neelix, he's essential to morale, except in the video game. Useless there, yeah. Completely useless in the game. All he does is tell me people keep deserting the ship. How the hell do you desert a ship? And DJ also says, first, this is a starship, not a democracy. Secondly, really, would you rather get marooned?
That's one.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to create a separate program to create the Lunds.
Yep. 114%. 200%.
Don't be too proud of yourself yet, Doc. And he does say so himself. And of course, the reason why they don't need masks in the 24th century is because of the biofilters.
Mm-hmm.
So, whom did you guys want to play Janeway? Who was your perfect choice?
I would have liked to. Same here. I would have loved to have seen her play the part. Let's see how it was. How she would.
I think she would have made an excellent Captain Janeway. She would have had that commanding presence and also had that side of her that would make you go, yeah, that's my leader. Voyager looks like a flip-flop. So you could commonly find it at the beach. Is that what you're saying, Anonymous?
No, they can land it there.
Yeah, they could. She had landing struts. Ah, little foreshadowing.
I wouldn't call that an accident.
Nah.
All I can sit back and say is the only way I can see this relationship working is the fact if he was hung like a Shetland pony.
Oh my
Because I could not see this relationship. No, I can't see this
No,
relationship.
I know. I don't see what Cass. Well, when she looks at Neelix, I don't see it.
Wait. I have to say what some other people say. You guys are taking it too seriously, man. It's just entertainment.
Yeah. So, and it entertains me to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm. It entertains me to nitpick when there are things to nitpick at.
Yeah.
I wonder what is it? What
For 60 years, people have been nitpicking Star Trek.
That's right,
Mhm.
man. They have, of course.
I mean, why would you
That's
have
why,
this?
because
sorry.
I nitpick stuff too. That's why I remember telling Spock, I said, man, everybody on the panel besides me, I was just listening how harsh they are about the first episode of Voyager and how they feel about Voyager. And I said it was just very interesting. And I was telling Spock this a while back, and he says, man, I really like Voyager. I said, yeah, I mean, people will always have mixed feelings about it, but like, I understand being harsh on any show, especially stuff that I love. I mean, there's
Probably
things
tough on
out there.
the things that we love.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And Anonymous tells you, Cass, to shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth, Cash.
You shut up, Anonymous. I'll find you, man. Find you, man.
Fighting like brothers.
See, and it also shows that Spock can be illogical too.
Mm-hmm.
No. Come on, Baron.
We're going to find out why the Vidians do what they do.
Yeah, and they didn't have the common decency to leave Neelix in a bathtub filled with ice.
No.
We built this asteroid. We built this asteroid on deception and lies. Looks like a fungus almost.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a kidney stone.
Don't please. Too
Hey, I
Too
can
soon.
say it. I've had them.
I know. It looks like a dirty kidney stone, which unfortunately I know too much about.
I can see that.
Yes, but if Janeway takes her ship into an asteroid, does she find a Starfleet vessel using an experimental cloaking device?
Maybe she is going to be one. One thing I had to say though is I do like when they gave her hairstyle as the show went along.
Yeah, the shorter
Well, that's
hairstyle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. because she looks way too severe, and having authority, looking like you have authority is one thing, but
yeah. Well, I remember reading that Kate Mulgrew didn't like having her hair like that. She wanted to have the shorter hairstyle.
mm-hmm. I'm not going to say anything more until you promote me.
Well, you're going to be waiting a very, very long time, Mr. Kim.
I can see. I know we've had at least more than a few discussions about that. I agree with you guys. Like, Kim should have been promoted.
He should have.
Yes.
Especially with the ups and downs that Paris had, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But also keep in mind, it's in season 2 where we lose this Harry Kim to the Vidians because there's 2 different Voyagers intercepting at the same time. The Vidians are on board one Voyager, so the one Harry Kim gets killed, while the Harry Kim that's living has to go into sickbay and take Samantha Wildman's baby, Naomi, and go to the Voyager that's going to be escaping because the Voyager that he was on has its auto-destruct enabled and the ship blows up.
Maybe you should have had that for the second episode. That we had 2 Vidian episodes. See,
but Baron,
you wanted your B'Elanna Doris fix,
Baron, because it involves the Vidians.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to jump from this episode to that episode in season 2 until we see the second encounter with the Vidians, which happens here in season 1.
Okay. Well, you know more about Voyager than me, so I'm not going to argue. I wouldn't think of it. In a sense, he's in the Iron Lung.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Yep. This is where you need the paper bag treatment.
Anonymous says, why in the world would they not sedate him constantly?
Yep.
That's what you should be doing. Holographic lungs or not, he's not going to be able to breathe normally.
Nope.
His body's going to be under a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Wow. It's a hall of mirrors.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In other words, enable the bumpers.
Well, hey, that's a merchant man. Come on. What do you mean? That's not a Delta Quadrant ship. What are you talking about? I mean, if I was really cruel, I could have sat back and said, "Well, she is a female captain, so I'm sure they have curb feelers." What? Well, a racist, a sexist would say.
Baron.
I know, I'm kidding.
Mr. Baron, do I have to remove you from the bridge because no bigotry is allowed on the bridge, mister?
Oh, it's not bigotry. It's not.
Leave that bigotry in your quarters, mister.
I don't see any Romulans. I'm not.
Mr. Cash, please escort Mr. Tag to his quarters and confine him there immediately.
Yeah, not the first time, not the last time. Yeah.
I'll be talking to you later.
Yes, I could definitely see Baron on the bridge. He's like, I just don't trust this woman. Is it because she's a woman? Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Tag, can I have a word with you?
Like I said, though, if it was Lindsay Wagner, that would have been fantastic, I think.
I think Lindsay Wagner would have brought a different approach to Janeway. Different aspects. You know, Janeway would be tough.
Right.
That's what you would want.
Yes.
At least she's better than the first one they had.
Yeah.
And she didn't realize, oh my God, I have to work.
Mm-hmm. You have to work. You actually have to act. You can't phone in your lines.
Mm-hmm. I don't trust her.
That's okay. She's all right. She'll be a Romulan during the same time on Deep Space Nine. Because Martha Hackett played the Romulan in the season 3 episode of The Search.
Mm-hmm.
And she also plays the first officer on board your ship where you play Star Trek Bridge Commander.
I don't play Bridge Commander.
So what are your thoughts on this episode, ladies and gentlemen?
What you would expect for an episode so early. They're going with the formula that they know of, Star Trek. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this could have been thrown into any of the other series, including DS9, right? This could have been a Gamma Quadrant alien that they came across, you know, through the wormhole. And in some ways, Star Trek Next Generation kind of had something like this. So, in that sense, it's generic because, like you said yourself, it's still finding his foot or his feet.
Well, yeah.
And we know that at least Voyager had 3 main transporter rooms, and then they had several cargo transporters.
It's always disappointing to me because someone like Tim Ross, he's actually a good actor. And the guy in real life, oh boy. But,
well, again, it's just an example. You have to separate the actor from the character they portray in the movie or on TV.
That's right. Sometimes you can't, but usually you can. Yeah.
Well, especially when you act that's in a way that's totally a polar opposite of what Star Trek's supposed to be.
Right.
You know? There's a difference between joking about something and actually meaning it, and he means it, and he's mean.
Mm-hmm.
Almost looks like a cross from the guys from Insurrection and leftover makeup from The Fly with Goldblum.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing about the Vidians is they've been suffering from this phage that eats. Well, I'll just let him explain it.
Yep.
Now, imagine what they could have done with the look of the Vidians had they had used practical makeup effects like they use here, but also combine it with CGI.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't care about these things anymore. They don't care if things want to look cheap. And the whole thing is, if you really start analyzing it more, like Trek has had so many serious moments over the years. And for them to just make it just goofy nonsense, that doesn't help anything.
No.
Because it does a poor job of getting the point across. I mean, it's crazy to me how people feel about new Trek, and yet, what is it? Discovery got still like 5 seasons or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, it
Well-
was given 5 seasons.
Well, let's be honest. It was given 4 seasons. It's just that 4th season was broken in half, and it was canceled. Just like
it was canceled. Prodigy was canceled. Lower Decks was canceled.
Yep.
now we'll actually see if there's going to be people here saying if Ellison actually. Do we want to keep making money and not just keep losing money? But
Well,
we'll see
that's the thing. You got various outlets saying Alex Kurtzman is out. Other outlets saying Alex Kurtzman isn't out yet because his contract isn't up yet. You don't know who to believe.
But but as you guys know, anybody who's running a business is like, if you're not making me money and we're not getting viewership, there's a huge problem. We can't just keep you. That's the smart thing to do. Yeah. Unless you're willing to change. If you're willing to change, then fine. But if you're not, no.
Well, Kurtzman isn't. Kurtzman isn't.
No, of course not.
And that should have been one of the first things that was rectified when it was bought out the first time.
Right.
You want to, you don't want to polish a turd because it just smears.
Right.
They could have. But again, like I said, all they did was he just bought it and hoped you could just flip it around right away without doing anything. And that's where we are with that.
But the thing is, who are you going to get to be the torchbearer for Star Trek? That'll actually respect the property.
It might be somebody we've never heard of.
Yeah.
Because
honestly,
regardless of what happens with the Warner Brothers and Paramount merger, Paramount's got to make a decision. Where do they want to go with Star Trek? Yes, on Pop Talk, we read that article where they want to go back to how Star Trek was under the Wrath of Khan, how Star Trek was for the next generation. That's all well and good, talking about it, but put it into motion.
Right.
Find someone who's going to be the torchbearer of Star Trek, and find writers who are committed to writing compelling, thoughtful stories like Star Trek is known for.
Right. Well, it's just disappointing. Even actors, like people that are in the new Academy nonsense, whatever. It's just these people have actually done dramatic roles and so on. For them to just I don't care how much money you get paid. It's just you're helping cancel a show that could actually be really good and actually mean something to people because you don't care. Well, that's not good, and that never
Well,
helps
they do.
the problem anyways. So
Well, they do care, but they only care about their narcissism.
Yeah, I know. That's fair.
They're not outside of their own personal bubble or whatnot. They're too busy trying to project themselves,
right,
instead of going about and having the wider thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I always sat back and said, the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek was you had the Star Wars was a macro. It was a larger universe. It's not one where you got into the nitty gritty of politics or societal or whatever.
Right.
It's about war.
Yes.
While Star Trek is your micro, right? Is your micro. So it's like is a difference between D-Day and Selma, Alabama.
Right.
But there is so much you can do on that micro level. But the thing is on that micro level still, it's not the me is still
right. Exactly.
the bigger picture.
Yes.
And that's what in Hollywood in general. I mean, just even watching the Red Sonja the other day. This is all. Yes. This is all narcissism. This is all.
Oh, it is. It is.
They can't go beyond and see that there's a bigger picture or something stronger, or that you are alienating. In many cases, in the case of Red Sonja, the majority.
However people feel about Voyager, like even this show lets scenes breathe. Nowadays a lot of stuff with dialogue doesn't let anything breathe. It's crazy, as we saw with Superman and some other stuff. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. You don't have to always have a character talk. They can just stay silent or say one thing and then just pause and let the music play.
Since we're talking Star Trek, how many times have you seen where a captain, for instance, is presented with information, and before it goes in the commercial break, it's just silence, where you see the character in thought.
Yep.
Right.
They're not telling the audience what the character's thinking, but you see the character standing there, and they're in deep thought. And then come back from commercial break. Sometimes you find out right away what the captain's thinking, or sometimes it's the scene after you come back from commercial break where you finally find out what the captain's been contemplating.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question here about this here right now. Her species lives to be 7 friggin' years old.
9.
No, 9. Okay, my apologies. 9. Now she just donated a lung to Neelix. So how is that going to go with the biological degradation between those two species? I mean, yeah, of course, it's never brought up again. It's never brought up again, but
I hate to tell folks, but if you have a species like the Ocampa, who only lived for 9 years, according to Star Trek canon, then 2 years after Voyager returns to the Alpha Quadrant, Neelix has unfortunately passed away, unless miraculously they come across a species that's able to either transplant new lungs to him or extend.
Right. Which, being that they got back to Federation space, you never know.
But see, Neelix doesn't stay with the crew.
Oh, that's right.
We're not watching Galaxy Quest. No. Neelix doesn't stay with the crew. I know you didn't watch the show all the way through, Barrett. I understand. So I'm going to try to fill in the gaps as quickly as possible without taking up, the whole night of filling it up.
Right.
In season 7 of Voyager, Voyager encounters a colony of Talaxians who are living on an asteroid. And he starts falling in love with this Talaxian woman and her craft.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides, and this is just before Endgame Part 1 and Endgame Part 2. So it's just before the series finale. So he decides he's going to stay with this colony. And Voyager presses on. You do see Neelix again in Endgame. He's talking to 7 and 9 via subspace. So, but Neelix does not accompany Voyager back to the Alpha Quadrant.
Okay.
That's right. He does. No, that's some of that's come back to me now. That's right. Yeah, he stays on this planet. Yeah.
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 Stays
So
on
he
the
has a
asteroid.
thing. So he has a thing for.
But no, well, what did you guys think of the episode? What are your thoughts on the episode?
You want to go first, Baron?
Well, I think I kind of said, I already kind of said that.
Okay.
It's your typical Star Trek episode, especially the fact that they're starting out, so it's still having to find its way.
Right.
And
It's trying to find its footing, but
Yeah.
you can't. I still like the makeup. The music
Yeah.
is good. Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very enjoyable. And yeah, they're just trying to. And Janeway is still like, I want to protect my crew. Well, that's what a strong captain's supposed to do. But she's still trying to find her footing, obviously, too. Getting to know.
Right.
She's not sure how to feel about Neelix yet, and so on. So.
And she wants to have her dining room back.
Right. Yes.
And see, I have no problem with there being a kitchen
No.
on board a starship.
No.
It's like I said the other day during Pop Talk, when I was writing my Star Trek fan fiction, I had it where the ship that, was in this particular fan fiction of mine, it did have a ship galley with a kitchen where the crew can go in, make whatever meals they want to make. There was no chef on board. But the crew had free reign, as long as we have the supplies.
Right.
To, make whatever it is you want to make, you can have at it if you don't want replicated food that night. But it wasn't a thing where the captain, I want to be in my own private dining room, my own private kitchen, away from the crew. No. I even had it, just like the original series had it, with Kirk eating with the crew. The captain ate with his crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Right.
I mean, as far as Picard did the same thing. Either that, he just stayed in his ready room, or he in his own quarters. But I mean, a ship that size, honestly, take a look. A ship that size, and it's supposed to be going back to more of the utilitarian instead of the comfort, you might say. They would not be able to afford the space of a private dining room. It doesn't make sense. The Enterprise D, okay, we can see that. An officer's mess, or or the command staff mess, or whatever. But a ship like that, no. And it makes sense that they would have a kitchen on board because, like they were saying before, energy. Every time you use the holodeck, or every time you use the holodoctor, or every time you replicate a meal, it's using vital energy that you need elsewhere.
Yeah, and the dilithium crystals being part of the warp core can only generate so much power over time. Even that's going to need to be replenished. You're going to have to stop somewhere and mine dilithium if you can't find a planet or a star base or some space station out there that actually has a supply of dilithium that they're willing to part with.
Right. I mean, they do have the ability to rejuvenate the dilithium, unlike they did in the original series, but you can only do that so many times. It's like having a battery that you can keep recharging, but every time you do it, the charge gets less and less
and less
and less.
Even with lithium ion batteries, it gets less and less and less the more you recharge it.
Yep. So I think that was one of the silliest things they could have in this episode. Her having her own private dining room. It's like a captain's private dining room, and if it's big enough to have a kitchen, then it's way too much space for her. Especially take a look at the size of her ready room. I mean, I think that's ready room's even larger than Picard's, and he had a Galaxy class.
Yeah, that is another thing. I'm glad you brought it up, Aaron. You know, the size of the bridge. You can even see where the bridge module is on the model.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Janeway's ready room and you see the size of her ready room. I think that ready room should have been smaller than what it actually was.
I think the bridge should have been smaller too. There's a lot of empty space on that bridge. A lot. And again, and it's not a Galaxy class where you do have that luxury. And you know, and of course on the other side, of course, was the briefing room, so you know, which kind of mirrored Janeway's ready room. So it's like, okay, so you can have, she has a ready room the size of a briefing room, and it's, you know, it's got different levels. You know, a little step up thing so she can look out. All these windows. Picard only had a little itty bitty window.
That's true. He did, yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, a ship like the Voyager throws out creature comforts because of the nature of what that ship's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a science vessel, a deep space science vessel. It was, however, never designed to be that far out into space, but unfortunately, the circumstances with the caretaker array, well, throws that out the window.
Meanwhile, the Galaxy was designed to do that.
That's why it was spacious and luxurious, because crews were meant to be out there for years. That ship was designed to serve 100 years.
Right.
And even the space that wasn't being utilized could always be expanded for future mission.
Exactly. And there was a lot of space that was not utilized on the Enterprise D. A lot. And, I mean, when they were first pitching the show to us fans, they were saying, you know, you remember the old show? It was a 5-year mission. Well, with all this new technology and the fact that you have families on board, blah, 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 and the size of the Enterprise D, we're looking at 25-year missions. So, I mean, you know, you look at the fact that, okay, the Voyager is a 5-year missioner and the Galaxy is a 25-year missioner. And that means she can go out and
longer,
do 4.
depending on the refit.
Right. Exactly. Or less, depends, again, what the purpose of the mission is, you know, or whatnot. But she has a lot more adjustability, you might say. Adjustability.
I mean, you know, every ship, especially in the 24th century, and yes, even in the 23rd century, had bridge modules. So you could take out the bridge module and put in a different bridge module, and that's how you can explain the bridge looking different. That's how you can explain the bridge looking different from the end of Next Generation to Generation for the Enterprise D. Different bridge module.
Exactly. And the same in the movies too. I mean, going from, you know, Star Trek 1 and Star Trek 2, Star Trek 4 to Star Trek 5 to Star Trek 6.
Yep.
You know, it's you know, all across, or even Battle Bridge 1 and Battle Bridge 2. You know, there's a show went along with Battle Bridge.
Because all they would have to do is separate the saucer section, you know, access the bridge module, release it, and replace it with the one that they wanted to put in there.
Right.
Even in the Next Generation technical manual, and this is where I'm getting my information from, shows you the bridge module being separated. And it also had shown, I don't know if you're aware of this, Baron, but you could also separate the bridge module for an emergency landing.
Yep. It can be a life pod if need be.
Which I'm surprised none of the Star Treks actually use that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I mean, the closest we ever got to that was Star Trek Generations. We were going to see it originally in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the full saucer sip, and then of course it was mentioned, I believe, in the Apple about separate and get the hell out of here. But the only time we ever saw it being used in that form, whether it's a bridge module or the primary hull, was Generations, and that's kind of a shame, that. I mean, in some ways, it's not. You don't want to see, the Enterprise get, blown up like that. But it could have been another ship,
Yeah. I mean, who's to say you can have some sort of secondary controls on the saucer section where you can still release the bridge module, let that fly on its own, and then those auxiliary controls on the saucer section are used to guide the saucer section down to a planet.
Well, I believe the saucer section did have a secondary bridge, if I remember right, on the D.
I'll have to look at the technical manual again to see.
Oh heck, I could just pull out the blueprints and see too. Got a couple copies of that. But I mean, it was just like the Enterprise, the original Enterprise. She had the two bridges, and then on the primary, and then had one on the secondary. So, which would kind of make sense. I mean, if something happened to the main bridge, let's face it, she kind of sticks out of there. That's why I like the Federation Dreadnought, the original plans for that, where the bridge wasn't on top; it was in the middle of the.
Well, that's kind of what a friend of mine and I had come up when we were writing our Star Trek fan fiction. Our two ships didn't have the bridge on top of the saucer module. It was in the middle of the ship.
See,
because our thought was, and this is before we even looked at the technical manuals or any of the blueprints that had come out. Our thought was the ship has sensors, so the sensors would be feeding the data,
right,
to the various stations, and the sensors would be provided the imagery as to where you're going.
Exactly. I mean, you could have the bridge anywhere you wanted on board your starship, because you don't have windows. Jar Jar Kurtzman. There are no windows. It's well, you had the window on top there for the D, but that's beside the point. But
also the original Enterprise had that window on the top too. The dome.
Yeah, at least for the first iteration of the before she got refitted. Then you can debate whether there was one up there or not. But yeah, you see that famously in the Cage, our menagerie. But yeah, the first set of blueprints I ever got was actually the Federation class Dreadnought blueprints, deck by deck. And it's like, okay, I love this ship anyways. It's such a cool design ship. And it's like, holy cow, that's where the bridge is?
Yeah, I mean, in the Star Trek fan fiction that my friend and I came up with our two different ships, they, again, didn't have the bridge on top of the saucer section. What was on top of the saucer section was the stellar cartography area.
Right. Makes sense.
I mean, my thinking was, well, it's stellar cartography. You're going to want to have it in an area of the ship where you can actually look out at what you're scanning.
I mean, why not? Trial and error is important, and a lot of people have forgotten that. So I don't think there's one right way. Just see where things fit.
Well, it depends on what the ship is about, what the mission profile is. I mean, it just, all across the board. I mean, really, the bridge of the Defiant is kind of tucked away a little bit there, but that's
It is.
because of the design. The design of the ship is this much more sleeker, smooth design. Not much for protrusions because you want to keep as tight of a profile as possible. So yeah, it makes sense. So she's
And I
kind
think
of
the
tucked in.
Defiant only had 5 decks in total.
Was it 5 or 3? I can't.
That's
I
why
thought it was 5.
That's why it's so frustrating that they miss these little details. Like obviously, a lot of people, you make a game of Trek or something. They want to, especially if it's obviously a first-person shooter or whatever. You want to go around the ship. I mean, sure, you can still do that in STO, but like these little details matter to people because they want to go around the ship. And when you can't do that, and they force you, and even with these shows, they don't show enough of the ship or we've forgotten a lot of these small details that have always been important. Oh, look at the ship, look at the lights, like Mike has talked about. Like these things should be always important, but other people don't care about this, and they should, because it just takes away from the show, the story, and whatever. Little details have always been important. So. Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's why we take it so serious. The story's got to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, this story, Cash. What do you think of it?
It's good. It's Babylon 5 now. It'll never get old. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just nice to watch a show that actually has serious moments, especially Trek. And it's nice to hear music that fits with the atmosphere. And I thought the episode wasn't bad. Like Baron said, they're still trying to find their footing. So now Neelix, probably it's like sometimes maybe he needs to shut up, but I don't know. It's just Neelix. I just don't hate him like some of you guys do. He's just there, I guess.
Oh, I don't hate the character. It's fun to pick on. For me, it's fun to pick on.
It's fun to pick on, yeah.
Yeah, there are just some characters that you like to pick on because
I know.
the way they're written, the way they're portrayed. It's like Wesley. You can't help it because of the way Will Wheaton portrays Wesley and the way he was written to be this genius kid, know-it-all.
Right.
And yeah, I did find that annoying. I still find it annoying.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That you have this kid that is this know-it-all and actually embarrasses the captain, makes the captain look bad.
Right. It's just what they've, where you see Janeway and you could actually talk to her if you're part of her crew and, get in her face about something or whatever and have an actual serious conversation, where now it's just like, oh, well, we're going to beat you down or we're going to show feet and stuff. None of this stuff should have ever happened, ever, but they don't care. And what they care is, once again, like Baron has said, their narcissism. That's what
there wouldn't have been an episode like In the Pale Moonlight.
No way. No.
Today, if they wanted to write an episode like that today, because they would look at that episode and go, oh no, he's toxic.
Right.
Doing all this.
Right.
No, Cisco was doing what he felt was the best thing to do possible to save the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah. In a way, technically in some ways correct, but for the wrong reasons of what they're thinking of. It is toxic because war is toxic, and having to do things in war, that might keep you up for the rest of your life. You not have a night's sleep for the rest of your life because of the decision. It's the right thing to do, but
remember, Cisco says, I can live with it.
See, I wouldn't,
and he can. Yeah, some can't, but he can.
You look at Holly Hunter's character, for example. I wouldn't trust her to make the tough decisions, but Janeway, Archer, Picard, Kirk, yes, I would trust them.
I wouldn't trust her to tie my shoes. Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But no, in all seriousness, no. I mean, how sitting in the captain's chair, curl up like a freaking cat, reading the book and being without any shoes on. What does that do to instill, especially if you were a quote unquote commandant of the Starfleet Academy.
Yes.
There's something about putting a certain fear of God in these people,
right?
These young cadets, but also not.
You have to have a commanding presence.
Mm-hmm.
You want these cadets to understand you're not here for a luxury vacation. No, you're here to be prepped to explore strange new worlds and seek out new life and new civilizations in deep space, encountering species that aren't always going to be friendly.
Yeah, you're not here to eat communicators like paint chips.
That's right.
No, I mean, again, what an insult to everything.
Yes.
Oh, let's have a fat woman go out there and say, I ate my communicator badge. How insulting is that on so many bloody levels?
Yeah.
How insulting is that?
Yep.
Well, let me count the ways.
Another thing with Kurtzman Trek before we get into faces is the out of shape officers. Let's just call it like it is. They're out of shape. No branch of the military wants to have an out of shape officer.
No.
Serving that branch.
But it's also the relationships they build, even romantic relationships. Like this stuff always has to be built. And B'Elanna and Paris and their relationship and Voyager, it has to be built. It can't just be, automatic. That's why you had the relationships, Guinan, all this other stuff. Like, why wouldn't the crew feel this way or somebody get upset? But Trek was always known for special moments and like moments that mattered and serious moments. It doesn't matter if it's old Trek, it doesn't matter if it's Voyager, it doesn't matter if it's Next Generation, it doesn't matter even if it's Enterprise.
Well, the thing is too, Cash, you mentioned when Tom and B'Elanna confess their love to each other, they're floating out there in space in their environmental suits, and Tom has to share his oxygen with B'Elanna because B'Elanna has a problem with her environmental suit.
Right. Yeah, they show they care. There's teamwork. They don't care about any of that stuff anymore. And so that's why I also like listening to you guys about like the little details or, oh, hey, I didn't know that. Or, this is the name of this race or this is that. It's like you either forget about it or you just don't. But these things aren't important to them. What have we always seen of Trek? They want to explore the galaxy. They want to potentially maybe find aliens that they can actually work with in the Federation and on and on and on. But now, who cares about that?
Even when they encounter a species that reminds, our crew of whatever show it might be, of how humans used to be, even bringing up that fact, were we so different back then?
Exactly.
There was a time where humans did things exactly like this.
Yep.
Who are we to judge them for something that we've done?
Right, exactly. I love like what can actually happen in the holodeck and so on, and that people would have those feelings. Those are things that could happen for sure.
Yeah.
And so now all of that doesn't matter anymore. And so that's why it's always frustrating. It just divides people. It just splits them all the time and they don't care. But if your show only goes on 1 year, your story is this or whatever, things start failing, then A, you either need to fix it. B, people may need to be fired.
You can't properly build up a show and its characters with only 8 episodes per season. 10 if you're lucky.
I agree. You can only do so much. I mean, even stuff like I bring up another show like One Piece, as I told Crit, I'm like, since there's so much source material, like they're doing good things, but I would love it to be maybe 12, 15 episodes. But yeah, you're not. It's just because they're going to always rush stuff. It's the same with Fallout. They're going to rush things a bit, and it's just they can only put so much, only so much.
Well, again, and my argument in all this is, it doesn't matter necessarily how many episodes you have, whether it's 8 to 10.
Right.
If you have the talent of the of the staff to be
Yes.
able to write these characters properly and the actors to portray them properly. You can get away with these massive character builds in such a short time. Look at the movie. Look at Star Wars.
Yes.
2 hours. 2
Right.
hours of Star Wars, and look how invested we are with everything. And all it took for us to get up to speed, like just a couple paragraph soliloquy from Obi-Wan to understand where we are in this universe.
Right.
Before the
Yeah.
dark
Yeah,
time, before
yeah,
the
Yeah,
but
that's the
you know,
whole thing.
but
You put together an
Wouldn't you
hour.
agree that as far as the television series is concerned, you want to have more than just 8 to 10 episodes to properly build that season and build your characters for what's going on in that season
I think
instead of
so.
having to rush things?
If they're
Well-
gonna do it, then they need to call it a mini series, like they did with the Penguin or whatever. You gotta just call it a mini series, because you're saying this is only it's a whole season. Fine, 10 episodes, 8 episodes, but there's only 8, and yet they could still do so much more. Yeah.
I guess I come from a slightly different attitude about it, because again, it's not necessarily even the rushing, but when watching so many English television shows where an average season sometimes
6
was
episodes.
6 episodes or maybe even 8 episodes.
Right.
And one season of Red Dwarf, which was 6 episodes, and it didn't feel rushed at all, but boy, did you learn about the universe, the characters, everything, and it did not feel rushed.
I think that has a lot to do with the talent behind the show, in
And
front of the
that's exactly
camera,
the point.
behind the camera.
And that's
It
the point I
just-
was making. I mean,
Yes.
that was the point originally I was making. The writing staff, the acting staff, everybody involved, if they have their stuff together, just
Yeah,
like
you
a
gotta-
movie, a 6 episode, let's just go a half-hour series, right? 6 half-hour episodes, 25-minute episodes, which would be a 2.5 hour or so motion picture in that aspect. There is so much you can do with that if you know how everything goes. Now, the greedy part of me, because you did have Doctor Who having 22, 24, 26, in some ways almost 50, almost a whole year round that it was out. Only a couple weeks off a year because of the original episodes. It was literally every single bloody week. So you have like 50 episodes or 48 episodes a season. You want, of course, it was a serial, so that was a different angle on that too. But what's the use of having a 22 long episode series if all they're going to do is fumble futz like Kurtzman? Or if you can have, if your choice is to have 22 episodes, but it's Kurtzman, or 8 episodes, and it's Berman or Roddenberry or any of that, what would your choices be? I would go with the Berman 8.
I would go with the Berman 8, the Roddenberry 8, or insert anybody's name, not even related to Star Trek, who could write 8 episodes where not a single one of those episodes feels like a filler episode.
You have to have people come in there and say, look, we're not going to play these games of what a stupid agenda is this. We're going to get back to what it makes sense for Trek. Because and the person who's leading it has to say that, because it's like, well, look at how we keep dividing the audience. Do we want to do that? Dividing the fan base? So let's get back at if people in there in the boardroom or whatever. No.
You don't want to divide the fan base. You want fans to still be able to have constructive discussions.
That's right.
Like we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, that's to us. Unfortunately, the powers that be don't.
Right.
They want to lecture. They
Right.
want to go out and as
and that's
Jason
the whole
Isaac said,
problem with current Star Trek is lecturing. Star Trek's not about lecturing. Star Trek's about presenting this idea, presenting it from multiple sides, and letting you decide who is right, who is wrong.
But yeah, and even when they lecture, they don't want to show all the sides. It's just this one point of view. No, other people are going to feel differently. It's just you can't. You're just missing the point, and you're making everything.
Of course, they're missing the point. They're missing the point in IDIC, infinite diversity and infinite combination.
Right.
diversity of thought, diversity of political belief.
Yep,
Right.
and
And
it doesn't even matter.
Aaron looks at it one way. I look at it another.
Mm-hmm.
Being
Exactly.
able to understand that we're not always going to agree. That's what they forget when it comes to current Trek.
You know, even when Star Trek was only offering a one-sided view of something,
Right.
most often they were lecturing and they're trying to present an argument for those who might not agree with it to think about, chew on it, to mull on it. Unlike Jason Isaac, who was out there all running around like a
Yeah.
proud peacock over nothing, saying, well, if we don't agree with it, we don't want you to watch.
Right.
It's like
Right.
that's you've just right there explained what Star Trek isn't. Cancel the show now.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And you want to know what's always made me think how different this current era of Star Trek might have been if they hadn't fired Brian Fuller. He was part of the original creative team for Discovery.
Mhm.
Just imagine how different this current era of Star Trek might have been. And the reason why I say that is because he was under the stewardship of the Berman era.
Right.
How to properly
course.
write Star Trek. He was part of Voyager. He was part of Next Generation.
Look,
And in the
it's
beginning, also you had Nick Myers also putting his 2
Mhm.
cents worth in and out. So even that,
even some of these sci-fi things if they get goofier, that's how they were built. There's still serious moments. Like there has to be a balance because this stuff has always worked for so many years. Even you go back to the original, like maybe not the exact original, but the Errol Flynn, and there's like little funny moments in there, but there's also serious moments. Like there has to be. So if you're in a boardroom with people, and this is why it's a problem that there's like 10 writers or whatever, because it's just too crazy in there. You got to cut it down. And they don't want that. This is their narcissism. We're going to do this, fine, whatever.
Huh.
But then when this stuff fails, then they want to blame the fans. They want to blame. It's not going to work. Like, you can have a strong female character without saying she's strong. You can have a strong male character without the character being strong. Then they clash. And why are they clashing? Because they're dealing with some aliens, or they're dealing with different species.
You
or they're
could
dealing with a
have
different planet.
dialogue
What's
between
going
those
on?
two
That's right.
characters,
Yep.
explaining their points of view to one another. You could even have it, if you want, that these two characters have worked together before, and they bring up as to why there's a conflict between the two of them.
That's right.
And then that's where your commanding officer character comes in and says, I don't care what differences you two have between one another, work it out.
Yep.
right.
It's just that's just like I said, little details, seeing certain parts of the ship. Oh, look at how cool that is. Oh, look at how this placement was. Some people don't care about that, and that's fine. I've always liked little details. Oh, look at where they placed this. Look at where they put the table. Look at where they put the window. Look at the
little
is.
sayings on the doors or on the consoles.
Yep.
What they're referencing, maybe
Right.
Moby Dick, for example. They're referencing a line from that.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but now it's just like all that stuff doesn't matter. They do a Tribble episode, it doesn't matter. Nothing really feels like it matters. And when they did a character,
Because there's no
like,
substance to it.
that's right.
Cash.
Just like the whole Shaw thing, and I always go back to that. It's like, this guy is just a massive douchebag. He's just a dick. But does he have anything else about him, really? So when he died, I didn't feel anything. Now, I had an argument with one of my other friends about that. Yeah, but it's just, I didn't feel anything. Okay, the character could be a dick, but the thing is, the character could be a dick, and then the character can be this and that and this and that. And so you can just keep going with it. But the three of us, we tried to explain this to a lot of people who are working on Trek now, even Holly Hunter. They look at us like we're foreign. Like we don't know.
I mean, let's take a look at the episode Darmok and what that episode had to do with. Yes, you had a species that talked in metaphor, but it was mainly about Picard and this other captain having to overcome a language barrier in order to work together to fight off this alien.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard learns about the captain while he's down there. Learns about, basically telling the story of Gilgamesh.
Mm-hmm.
Shaka when the walls fell. Timber his arms wide. It's a very good episode. I know there are some people out there who do not like Darmok, but I've always looked at it as an episode, like I said, you're trying to overcome a language barrier between you and someone else who does not speak your language. They don't speak your language.
Yeah, one kind of a rare thing that Star Trek took on, because all the time everyone seems to know everybody's language or this and that. But I'm one of those that it's a good episode, but I don't hold it as high as a lot of other people do. Doesn't mean it's not. I don't think it's a good episode. But Dharma, Death by Snoo.
Yeah, you don't have to have it in your top 10 or even your top 25. But, it's an example of Star Trek saying, okay, how does Picard overcome this language barrier with his other captain, played by the late Paul Winfield?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we lost a giant when we lost him.
Mm-hmm. But I know, folks, you're waiting on the second episode for tonight's show, which is Faces, and I'm going to go ahead and start playing that now. And we can still talk about what happened in Phage and our other topics too while we're watching this episode. So here we go.
The closed captioning symbol on there. I haven't seen that in ages. Delana
says this episode. How you doing tonight, Shane? All right, I am going to skip the intro. We've already watched it for the first episode, so let me just try to get it.
Oh, there's a skip intro button.
Well,
this way we get to see Jerry Taylor. At least we get to see Jerry Taylor see him again. Rest her soul.
Rest her soul. Because, she passed away last year. And
Nurse.
Hey, guys, just hanging out. Ron hit. Like on the tube.
So he gets tomato soup.
Yes. Hot, plain tomato soup.
Yeah, Campbell's. Yeah, you don't want a replicator to.
Cosme's pausing a little bit for me, not bad though.
What about you, Baron?
Oh, fine for me. And he's a Vulcan. They like things dull.
Yes.
That's how he eats.
Yep. I do it. You know that is true. You ever have something that your mom used to make, and you taste it, especially after the first time you've made it, you go, "Yep, just as good as mom used to make." And look at the detail that they go in on the old show. How they're actually showing you the caverns.
Instead of waving their hands in the air like they're being swarmed on by bees.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you a little old to be an ensign?
And just so everybody knows, Roxanne Dawson plays both parts in this episode. Oh, we're gonna find out what happened.
All right, I reloaded Cosme just to see if I needed to.
All right.
See if it'll help. Just a pausing a little bit, but before it wasn't like, "Come on, Cosme!" It's like, "No whammies, no whammies."
No whammies, no whammies. Stop. So we're getting one aspect of the story. Now we're gonna get the next aspect of the story here.
All right, Cosme. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
No whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Too late, you're whammied.
I know.
So, Bear, do you remember seeing this episode?
Not this one. I mean, maybe aspects of it, but not much. It's
The Dean.
It's another Talaxian.
probably a cousin.
Nobody escapes the BD.
Then what?
Yeah, right.
If they had him, why didn't they just take his lungs?
Right.
True.
Those bastards.
Neelix's were fresher.
Right.
But it would have made more sense, looking back at it, if they would have taken one of the humans, like Chakotay
Mm-hmm.
or Kim, right? Because they're not from around here. But you got enough of Neelix's people over the place. Oh, is that a Hammond organ?
No.
Hmm.
But one thing you also have to give Hollywood credit for back then was the detailed work they would put into making a cave set.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also known as Planet Hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you might find an ink blot named Armis
Mm-hmm.
loitering about.
Ooh,
I know, it's Batman.
Batfuck. Hey, not only did they take it out of the box, but they
damaged it.
damaged it.
They ruined its resale value.
Its collectability. Mm.
And I don't know if you had heard me say it already there, Baron, but it is Roxanne Dawson playing both parts, both B'Elanna and the Klingon.
Mm-hmm. That I did. Give me Paris. Death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah, because it's a Klingon.
Never underestimate a Klingon.
Endeavor. Yeah.
Yeah, she is pretty hot.
Yeah, but you'd think that Starfleet would have a better dental plan. Just saying.
And yeah, I'm going to admit here before you actually see her, I did think that Roxanne Dawson without all the Klingon makeup was hot.
Mm-hmm. Tom. Tom, 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 Tom. Tom, 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 Tom.
Excuse me.
Where's your bumps? They turned me into the original series Klingon.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Only half the woman she was.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Still cute.
quarter. Oh, yeah. Mm. It was a bull. I thought,
So we definitely know that she lived there before the Enterprise C did its heroic act at Narendra 3.
and that her mother was the Klingon,
Mm-hmm.
or half Klingon, I should say.
Right.
And her father was a Starfleet officer.
All right, come on, no whammies, no whammies, and it's good so far. Dang it, Cosme, you never paused on me with the first episode.
I can't handle the Klingon DNA.
I can't handle it.
That amazing Klingon chin that you have.
Yes, Klingon chin. I don't know if I see
It is the most honorable chin.
greatest chin ever.
It has seen many glorious battles
Yes.
and been victorious in all of them.
Uh-huh. They had never seen
Just
that.
like in Phage. Another reason why I wanted to have this episode right after Phage.
Sure. Life forms. Tiny little light. Oh, oh, what body parts, what organs did they go beam up and leave behind?
Don't know.
Ooh, there we go. There we go. Oh, he sounds like he cares. She sounds like a Doris sister.
Yes, she does. And that could be who Roxanne Dawson watched to get an idea of what a female Klingon should sound like.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, stew.
Yes, Baron. Snoozer.
Ew. Ew.
Guess you're ugly. It's off me, man.
Hooked on a feeling?
Lana still won't give him a chance.
No.
And the standard Berman era Star Trek of a officer wearing a gold uniform. Well, he's the sacrifice.
The boys in gold will soon be cold.
Mm-hmm.
The boys in
Just like
red
in
will
the
soon be
original.
red.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Get ready for it.
That's it. I'm not going to the Ed Gein Medical Hospital ever again.
Nope. I love a Klingon woman. She doesn't put up with crap from anyone.
Nope.
And it's always interesting going back and watching some of the first season episodes of any Star Trek series where you see how the actors portrayed the characters in that season, and then you watch a later season and how they've grown into the character and how their performance has changed. And
Well, they improved his looks dramatically.
I would say that's a downgrade there, Baron.
Have you, though? Have you?
He told us he has, Baron. Come on.
I'm just curious to know how many hours it took to apply that makeup to Robert Beltran.
Mm-hmm. And to think, though, he's not the only. Roxanne Dawson was not the only one to play dual roles.
Yeah,
So did
exactly.
Durst. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is, before you even realize it, that it's the same actor who's playing Durst playing the Vidian, it's because of all the makeup.
Yep. And acting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Listen to what she says about the change.
they made you human.
Any thoughts right now, gentlemen?
This is like Voyager's version of the Enemy Within.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the split. How I know how those two different, where it was like the baser nature of Kirk and the higher level of Kirk needed each other. In this case, the two sides of Taurus needs each other.
Mm-hmm. Although the one side's not trying to destroy everything,
Mm-hmm.
both sides have a common goal.
Right. Yeah, because you're not separating the bad from the good. It's just two natures. So the two different approaches are going to be different. Mm-hmm.
This is a fun place.
Cash would definitely give it 9 out of 10 stars. The Vidian world.
Awful place. It's so exciting. This episode is coming back to me. When I watch these Voyager, I'm like, oh, I remember this. In years.
Well, they're making such a big deal about imitation crap's first episode. Oh, the horror episodes! Like we've never had horror episodes before.
I know, right?
And it's like, well,
just we don't need stuff like The Shining, like we saw in Picard, but whatever. That's.
But
not,
no, I mean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, here you have a form of that with with the splitting, the enemy, all that across the board.
Right.
You have the episode with Next Generation where kind of similar to the the Vidians, or how you pronounce their name, where they're taken in basically UFO culture, abductions.
Mm-hmm.
Or even though it was a horse garbage episode, Sub Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I mean, and going all the way back to Cat's Paw with the original series. Again, it's like, we're doing stuff like, it's like, well, look at what we're doing. It's like, nah. They dealt with horror aspects, Voyager, Next Generation, DS9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Move Along Home is a horror episode for those that watch it. That is.
Well, think about Night Terrors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Night Terrors. That's the other one I was trying to think. Yep. Yeah, I think that's the one I was trying to say, but it was doing a poor job of it, and I admit it.
It's just. Well, that's why I like that Shining stuff in the Picard show season 3. I was like, this is ridiculous.
I didn't know they even did the Shining.
Oh, yeah. They did like a Shining thing where the doors were opening in the ship. It was ridiculous.
Ooh.
Actually, it looks like a chicken breast.
I was going to say, yeah, it's like, or a pork chop. You got any barbecue sauce, maybe?
Maybe a little salt, a little pepper.
I think it'll taste like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken, except the chicken.
Eat. Eat now.
Now, give me your guys' thoughts as we're watching the scene of Roxanne's performance as the full Klingon and the full human. Yeah, that's right. You got a Rambo. Rambo it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, she's doing a good job. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, it's a good performance on both ends. I like her Klingon and I like her human side. So I love this idea about like splitting them up will make one side weaker than the other.
Mhm.
Well, it's not making. As you're taking a look in here, both have their weaknesses and both have their strengths,
Oh, I know, but
and that's just it.
because without her Klingon side, without B'Elanna's Klingon side, then she's feeling more
He's
certain
more
parts
vulnerable
more
as a full
human.
human.
Yep, mhm.
Hmm.
That's why she feels more fear. So. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Cosme, are
So
you working for
sorry.
me? Come on, no whammies doing. All right, good, Cosme, good. You can do it. And then when I say good things about Cosme, Cosme goes, ha ha. You need me. I love that.
Mhm. Does that mean I can kill somebody? Now you're thinking.
And if people tell me that the new Klingons are the real ones, I'll be like, no, I don't think so.
No.
Not
Nah.
even close.
They might be a species under their empire, but they're
Mhm.
not Klingon.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's not lying.
No.
Very well. Whatever you say, meatball face.
It's Meatwad.
Meatball, meatball. Ha. Good job.
Good job, human Taurus.
She's focused. Hmm.
Keep working. Oh.
Hey. Good job, Weenie.
He went out in battle like any Klingon.
That's right. Glory of battle.
Holding her own hand.
Yeah. Although here's an interesting question for everybody.
Hmm.
Does that version of B'Elanna end up in Stovall?
Mm. Good question. Mm-hmm.
But they did lose a Starfleet person.
Yeah, they lost a crew member.
Oh, we're still on that. We're still on him. You know.
He doesn't matter, Baron. Is that
Just
what you're
call, just call Eugene to clean up the mess. That's all I say.
But I thought, Michael Westmore's team did a good job blending the actor's face with the Vidian makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's like we had another crew member. Oh, it's all right. He was a good sacrifice.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty much what they were. You're wearing
Yeah.
a gold uniform. You're on a away team mission. You
Mm-hmm.
may not come back.
That's right.
Exactly.
Just because they changed the uniform color from red to gold doesn't mean that they're not sacrificial lambs.
I'll go, Captain. It's like, does anybody care about him? No, he sacrificed himself. That's enough.
Time to die. Don't need to fight her.
And what do you say when you hear something like that? Just like Chakotay. Not sure what to say.
Yeah.
Hit her on the head and go, "Hello, McFly. It's part of you."
It's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Durst? Oh, he got sacrificed. It's all right.
Well, who's that?
Justin still hung up on Durst.
Who's that?
Well, it's just funny because Janeway does say, "Well, where's Durst and Chakotay?"
He's dead,
Yep.
Captain.
He's dead. Oh, it's all right. We don't need to talk about him anymore.
Who? Who's this guy you're talking about?
See, that's what kind of Captain Baron would be.
Who's
We
that
lost
guy?
a crew. We lost a crew
We
member,
lost.
Captain.
Oh, that's
Who?
okay.
Durst.
And you know,
Who?
Oh, it's all right.
and you know what they'd be doing today? They sit back and say, "Oh, what a tragic death! Oh, it's affecting us. Oh no, I better call my therapist right now."
I got so emotional when they
It
killed
was
Durst.
too much. I
Uh,
know.
I was so invested in that character for like quarter of the episode.
Uh,
Meanwhile, again, when it came to full clean on Balana, all you need is this and this. It's like, yep, that's my inspiration for Ravoid. All you need is this and this.
All you need is right and left.
Mm-hmm.
Balana was Klingon fighting. Her back was fighting.
But thoughts on the episode?
Again, it's a Star Trek episode. Like I said, it was definitely see elements of the Enemy Within, but taking a different approach to how it is that who are we compared to
Right.
good and evil, and they're coming close to finishing their first season here, and whatnot. They obviously for the show itself, trying to find their feet a little bit more, but I think they're starting to succeed a little bit more. I know that Roxanne Dawson was not so sure about this episode at first. She thought it was too early to have an episode like this. And it's like, but you think about it, what a great character building episode it was.
Yes.
What a great character building episode, but I'm also glad you brought up that point. I think this should have happened in a later series episode. Let's say about season 4, maybe season 5.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, but how early was it that Kirk had this situation? I mean, it was really
First
early
season.
in the original. Yeah,
First
really
season.
early. Yeah, really early first season because he still had his that early haircut. And
I'll be right back.
yeah, sure. So with that, yeah, I mean, it's Trek. I mean, because everybody knows a part of this entire thing know how to write Trek. Now it's how do we write Voyager,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we're
Yeah,
at.
you have to find your footing with these shows.
Mm-hmm.
What are those things called? Vidinians or whatever?
What
What are
the bad guys are doing this?
Yeah, something like that.
Vidians.
Vidians, yes.
Are burnt sausages.
Or burns or meatballs. Yeah,
You were calling them meatballs, but yeah,
I like that.
they look like a burned out colon from too much chicken vindaloo. But honestly, when it comes to I think it was a good one though for a character.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a good episode, and there's a lot of But yeah, I mean, you're right. The sacrifices, and you can't be like, but everybody obviously on the crew should be important. It's just I always find it funny sometimes. Like, oh, where's this character? Oh, he's gone. Oh, do we care? Oh no, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to go crazy emotional about it, but it's just like when you go on away missions, just like Mike says, some people may not come back. So.
Who are you talking about again?
Right? It's too funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, they've been trying to squeeze out whatever out of what we have now, and for some reason, people's sense of how would you say it? Their demand for something stronger in the story and characters is so little that you can have a guy walking behind, trip and fall, and they're so invested in the characters. Like, oh, did they hurt themselves? Oh my God, we need to follow this character into sick bay and know how. I hope they didn't die.
Well, like I said, it's just once again, it's just they mention his name, but like we've seen other shows where side characters can become important because they're important with what's going on with the story. But if anybody understands what's going on, you're going to another planet, just like we've seen in original Trek, Next Generation, this, and Enterprise. Bad things can happen, obviously. So.
But they're on a
And real quick, I just want to say hello to Mega Whale. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Mega Whale.
I wrote a movie treatment to save it, get a renewal, and transition into a feature film. It bridges Strange New Worlds, TOS, Kelvin, and Academy. What do you think? Well, I mean, not seeing anything as far as the treatment is concerned, I really have nothing to go on.
No. But considering so much of what you put in there, I'll be mean. I don't mean to be mean. But it's like there's only one in the entire thing, the original series, that I'd care about because none of the others, one of these things doesn't belong to the others, and that thing is Star Trek, the original series, because the other stuff is garbage. I'm sorry. I'm not going to change anything because I've been raking on it all night and comparing, especially the fact that this show, Voyager, is my least favorite Star Trek of the original run. But I still consider it Star Trek, and I do consider it watchable. So, again, one of these things doesn't belong to the other. That's the TOS. That's the only real Trek. There is no reason to bridge. Again, it's going into the past. It's not going boldly forward. So just off of a brief treatment like that, it's just like when they were going around talking about what we're going to do for Star Trek for one of the movies, and part of it was, we'll go back in time and save John Kennedy as a treatment. It's like, no. Boring. We don't need that. We don't need the cult of Kennedy. And that's the way I look at it. I just want to have a new series, not a movie. I want them to go forward and move it into the future from Nemesis. Ignore everything else. Everything else. I'm even borderline ignoring Enterprise because it's just so out of context with the rest of the series, rest of Star Trek.
Well, it's like what we've talked about before, Baron. Don't go with a new series, have it set in the future, but have it set away from even characters that we already know.
Right.
Let it establish its own legacy without having to rely on what's already been established.
Right. You need to go full-fledged Star Trek Next Generation. How Gene Roddenberry approached it. He didn't even want to have Vulcans seen on board the Enterprise for the longest time, even though we did get them early. Because he wanted to make sure it was established for what it was supposed to be in the universe, and not have to rely upon the tropes of the old stuff. Oh, we got to have a Klingon. We have to blah, 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 blah. No, this is about an entire brand new crew, different dynamics, different personalities, different races. We're relying on the concept of Star Trek, not a show that was before. So, and that's what it needs to be done now. And not a motion picture, because what are we going to be invested in?
I don't have any reason to invest in new characters that are going to be in a movie when I know nothing about these characters.
Right.
Again, I'm looking at it like this. It's not Star Wars where you're establishing this new world with its new characters. This is Star Trek. And Star Trek works best on the television screen.
Right.
Or you introduce the ship, you introduce the crew, and you introduce the concept of what this show is about compared to the previous shows.
And the one big change I would have is I'd do it like where No Man's Gone before. They're already in their mission. They're not just starting out. This is the first mission. No, they've already been out there for a little bit, right? Just like where No Man's Gone before. And just to give you, what did it go? Where they sit back and say, already sit in motion. The fancy Latin phrase or whatever they use for that. That's how it would be. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with referencing prior Trek, but you don't use it as a crutch.
Like, all we needed was a strong black female to fight the white Klingons, is what Shane says.
Oh my. But but
again, it goes back to something I've always said on this channel. I want a series that establishes its own road, so to speak,
right,
and develops good, confident, strong, intelligent characters. Present them with their strengths and their weaknesses. And if you're going to, retread a story that's already been told in Trek, try to find a new way to tell it.
Right. And there was a big but not so big change between the original series and Next Generation, even though a lot of the concept came from Phase 2. But Phase 2 in and by itself was trying to break a little bit off of the original series. One, because they weren't going to have Leonard Nimoy.
And Mega Whale, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take the time to respond by typing in the chat to a question that we've already answered.
No, my fingers don't work. But that's just it. I mean, what made Star Trek movies great? Well, simple. They started off with Kirk and crew, and then they continued on with Picard and crew. We never had a Cisco and crew. We never had a Janeway and crew. We never had an Archer and crew. But we had those two groups. But the thing is they were established. And it won't get me to sit my butt down in a theater to watch a 2-hour movie with a crew I don't know anything about, especially after the Jar Jar abominations. And even then, does that mean there's going to be a guarantee to have a sequel?
No.
So I might be just...
No. You want to know why we're not guaranteed a sequel full of characters that we don't know in a movie that we know nothing about? Because we're going to be given a story that we're probably not going to care about.
Right. Well, plus, take a look at one of the things I was saying is a problem with the Jar Jar films is there's too much time between the movies. If you're going to do that, you need to have at least like the originals, where it was like every 2 years, boom, boom, boom. But you started having these longer waits between the films, and there's just too much time. You start losing interest. Especially if you're dealing with characters you're not familiar with.
Exactly. I mean, how many times when it came to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies did we hear that there was going to be a Star Trek 4? We heard it for several years before finally someone had to admit, no, it's not happening.
Thank God.
Just you take those movies or leave them. There's things you can find in those movies, but it's just, I don't know. It's not.
Yeah.
Once
the
again,
closing credits.
Once again, as I've said always, it's just not like Wrath of Khan, even Star Trek 3, even for the Voyage Home. It's just, this stuff is not. I can honestly say that watching all those movies, even in the theaters, they're just really not memorable. And there's things you can find that you can like, I feel, but it's just not. It's you take them or leave them. I just don't think it really
Well,
matters. I can't say those movies, at least for me, are memorable.
those things that quote unquote liked in the Jar Jar Abrams films was member berries. It was Star Trek, the
Oh,
member berries.
I know that. That's fair.
That's all. Hey, see, Kirk. He's sitting in the center.
Mhm.
Kirk is sitting in the chair there, doing the Kobayashi Maru. Remember the Kobayashi Maru? Member. And look, he's eating the apple like he did in the Genesis cave. Remember. And he was talking about the Kobayashi Maru when he was doing that. Member.
Mhm.
Let's not forget Into Darkness.
Right.
I
And the
have
way
been and always shall be your friend.
the
Yeah.
thing about
Except it's reversed, where it's Kirk behind the protective shielding, and it's Spock that's receiving that "I have been and always shall be your friend" moment.
Yeah.
I don't want a rehash upon rehash upon rehash of what's
no.
already been established in Trek. I want something new that respects the source material, that respects the series that have come before and those who have helped create Star Trek before.
No, I don't think that's too much to ask. So yeah,
Well, obviously it is.
I guess for them, but it's just
I mean, obviously it is. It's just
You
one
know,
simple
it's just
thing. And
yeah,
what
like
is it? We're
I've
just
talked
called every name in the book. That's why I
right,
have no respect for
right.
any, but
No,
for
you
any of
can't.
that garbage.
You can't, and it's just even when there people will say like the conversations I've had with Crit and some other people. I understand people look at it; they're good action movies, fine, whatever. But I just once again, they're just not memorable. I can barely remember anything from Beyond or much of anything. I remember some of the original one of was it '09? Yeah, '09.
Yeah.
But I don't remember much of it's like, oh well Kirk, oh he's acting like this, okay, fine, whatever. But it's not like
The
how I
whole
feel about
point,
like Voyage Home or Star Trek
the whole
6 or
point of
whatever.
having started this whole live stream here of The Adventure Continues last April was to remind people how good Trek was and how good it could still be, but you have to get the right talent in there. People who will go into the room, put all the other BS aside, their personal feelings aside, and come up with a good, compelling story for a full season.
Well, I'm going to do an analogy here. As a good Missouri Synod Lutheran boy, our big thing is, especially when it comes around the sermon, is we have law and gospel. And we're explained in the beginning why law, the reason why we're told law is the reason why we need to have the gospel. And if we don't squirm during that segment of the sermon, the pastor's not doing his job, or there's something wrong with you. Well, the same thing can be said about Star Trek when they really want to get in there, get in deep in a storytelling and bringing forth an argument or a debate. If you're not feeling uncomfortable, no matter what side of the aisle or what side of your viewpoint is, then either the writers are doing a bad job or there's something wrong with you. And yeah, Star Trek should make you feel uncomfortable now and then.
Yes.
Not all the time. Not all the time, right? There are times I have a lighthearted episode. There's times I have a serious episode with lighthearted elements. Trouble with triples. You can have the gut-wrenching episodes, say On the Edge of Forever. The Enemy Within. It doesn't matter across the board. And I'm just using original Star Trek as the example because that's the basis of everything.
Measure of a Man for Next Generation.
Oh, I love that
Right.
episode.
So with that, if you're not feeling uncomfortable when for an episode that's meant to be that way, that's like Patterns of Force,
or another perfect example from Next Generation, the Drumhead.
right? Exactly. The thing is what we have today are people that don't want to feel uncomfortable.
No,
they think their worldview is everything. Everybody else should be uncomfortable or join goose step along with them.
right.
Or should I say Trek step in their mindset. But the thing is even even they need to feel uncomfortable. Even sometimes the actors, sometimes the writers, it doesn't matter, should feel a little uncomfortable. There should be discussion, debate behind the scenes. Roddenberry and Kuhn had debates because they came from two different philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
that's
the
what
thing
helped
about
make things.
think about the headbutting that went on between Harlan Ellison and Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. To a point, both had their points on it, but I do believe Harlan was done more wrong, and the lies that were told about him are still believed today about that episode, and it all came from the fact that Roddenberry was too busy being like the Iranian government, where makes a promise and breaks it right away. Yeah, we won't talk about this again. And then 2 heartbeats later, he's attacking Harlan. Even though Harlan said, "Okay, we got a truce," and it's like, "Okay, fine, you broke it. I'm going back chalk and all." But that's just it. I mean, if the discussion and debate is healthy and it's making things better, and yeah, I mean, definitely, if you have if you want to take it from both points of view, then both points should be feeling a little uncomfortable through it. And I'm not saying that you as the viewer, the main goal is to suffer. No, it's not suffering. Squirming is different from suffering, because the squirming is that phase to start making the brain work and going, "Ooh, I didn't think of that," or "Yeah, that's compelling," or whatnot. Because this question, you're going into your viewpoint, your world view, whatever it might be, and now having some more red meat to chew on. And it's like, well, am I still right? Am I wrong? Or do I just need to adjust my viewpoint, because they're not completely right, I'm not completely wrong? So there's got to be that compromise or something to add in there. So that's what Star Trek should be. What we have today, though, we don't have that. We have
And
identity problems. I want my gender identity. I want my other identity. I want this. I just want to be me. I want my projection.
and Mega Whale, I'm not saying this to be me, I'm just saying this because it sounds very familiar. It sounds like All Good Things, where you had at the end of the episode 3 different versions of the Enterprise D converging in the same area to save the galaxy. That's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm. The 3-engine dreadnought. Yeah. But so yeah,
And that's just a modification of the 4-foot model.
Yeah. All it was. I still like the 6-foot model better, though. I just like this more smoother hull that was on there. It's like, all these bumps sometimes. I thought the 4-foot kind of got a little carried away with all the little bumpage. But
all the little Aztecing and
mm-hmm. Exactly.
And having 10 forward there, where you look at the original 6-foot model, there is no 10 forward.
Mm-hmm. And granted, you could just fix it up with a little model fix on the front of the big one, but well. But yeah, that's what Star Trek is about, and there's room for all sorts of different, because I don't want to be mean here, but I'm just going to express truth. Star Trek is not hard science fiction. It's not. Yes, there are elements of hard science fiction in there. They need it, right? Yeah, there's reasons why Asimov was hired on to be a consultant for the next for motion picture. Yeah, they do try to get science, but everything comes second to what the story is. And in all truth, Star Trek is a form of space opera, which nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So,
and DJ, you're absolutely right. The Athena is not an Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-foot looked less detailed for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a pain in the butt to work with, just like the original refit Enterprise.
And DJ says you needed like 5 guys to move that 6-foot model around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of their excuses for destroying the Enterprise D for movies going forward, is because the bigger model was just too hard to work with. I'm thinking, you guys still could have worked with it. You chose not to.
I think one of the problems with the Enterprise D, the big one, model, was the fact of how the shape. Basically, it was not necessarily the weight or anything like that, but it's like, okay, where's the best places to hold this to move it physically? And it's like, well, we need to have 5 people to do it because that's just the weight distribution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
think about where all that weight was too.
Mm-hmm.
In the sauce section.
Mm-hmm. And being that was an ILM job, and how ILM hated the refit Enterprise, so they weren't going to try to do the same mistake twice in that aspect.
And DJ, you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm. See what? I'll go on.
Go ahead, Baron.
It comes to that point, and one of the biggest problems with, right off the bat, and again, it goes back to Jason Isaacs. This time, it's nothing wrong on his part. So it's not in relation to that stupid statement made earlier. But he did when they're filming, he did an off the cuff, good Lord, situation. He goes, stop, cut. Goes, what's wrong? Well, this is an atheist future, a humanist one. So there wouldn't be any reference to a God in this universe. It's like
wrong. Star Trek has mentioned religion countless times.
Many times.
Just because Gene Roddenberry, the creator, was an atheist, doesn't mean they didn't bring up religion.
Or, for that matter, an off-the-cuff statement. Just because you say, good Lord, doesn't mean you believe in a God.
Right.
By Zeus, does that mean you believe in Zeus? Or by Jove, same thing. Do you believe in Zeus / Jupiter? No. But that's how stupid they are. That you actually call us cut and make a big deal about that on the set. Listen here, you chin beard, actually fedora tipping morons. You're idiots. You're more worried about putting the F-bomb in your show than they have real dialogue.
Or
which that would be.
Showing a naked Klingon or a beheaded Klingon, which they have in Kurtzman Trek.
Well, if it's a female Klingon, kind of for that. I'm kidding. But no, I mean...
Well, because... right. Well, of course, because they want to take away everything because it's wrong. This is wrong. The male captain is wrong. This is wrong. This female has to do this. We can't have religion. We don't care about species or aliens having their own religion. We don't care about their honor. We don't care. And the list goes on and on and on.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Star Trek 2. According to myth, the world was created in 6 days. But wait, we can do it for you in 6 minutes, or however the full line goes. I mean, right there, here comes Genesis. Yeah, here comes Genesis, which again is a biblical reference,
right?
For making something out of nothing, true creation. And
you know what? I have to go to the Pop Talk side of things to use the clip.
Oh, okay.
But I will. But it's to bring to the point that we're making here. So let me just switch over to the pop talk side of things and play the clip, because I don't have it on the Adventure Continues side. So
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
You should put it on here anyways. I know it's different than
I'm transferring it over.
Yeah, I think it's important enough of a one. But yeah, I mean, again, that was one of the other things that got kept on getting pitched and shot down, and for some reason they let Shatner do it. The crew of the Enterprise go looking for God and find out God is the devil, which is what Star Trek V basically is. If you just go on that one, but that was promoted many times before Star Trek V.
The animated series. The animated series had an episode where they encountered, quote unquote, the devil.
Yeah, magics of whatever the guy's name is. Yeah, but yeah, he's a big old devil. I mean, and so it's like, yeah, it's been done before. You don't need to do it, Bill. And I realize you were doing it because of televangelists, but you could have done it a little bit different than that.
And Mega Whale, you don't have to do that as far as Vulcan is concerned. You just ignore all the Kelvin elements that happened. Never happened.
Never happened. Never happened. No. I mean, they basically wiped that universe out themselves, so it never happened. So, again, these are kind of the big things, you know. For Shatner, he found televangelists disturbing, and rightly so, because many of them were just money grabbing fuzzheads, just like we have today. You know,
Jimmy Swagger
and Jimmy
comes
Swagger.
To mind.
Yeah. But, you know, Joel Osteen, right off the top right there, I consider him one of the biggest spiritual snake oil salesmen that we got out there. And Henning, I believe his name, whatever, and Benny Hinn. And, you know, all these people that found miraculous wealth the moment they found God and preached God. You know, not my pastor, though. It's like he still has to figure out what he's going to do for his bills every month. You know, but in all seriousness, you know, so it's understandable, but unfortunately, it just didn't come together properly. So, yeah, there have been references, whether it's Who Mourns for Adonis, Plato's Stepchildren, where people are acting like Q.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a godlike creature in Terlane, the same thing.
Well, what about the Bajoran prophets? Come on, the Celestial Temple.
And they've never been explained, and that's good. There's something out there, right? There's something out there that leads to the spiritualism of the Bajoran people, and that Cisco is their emissary.
I mean, there's
perfect.
There's even a line from Joseph Sisko where you can vaguely tell that he might be a Christian man.
Right.
So you can't tell me that Christianity doesn't exist in the 24th century of Star Trek. It still does.
It should. Just like Judaism, like Hinduism, Islam. I mean, if you're going to make a big deal about someone being the first Islamic cast member or whatever on the show, then you better damn well be respectful to the religion as well.
Well, wait a minute. Well, was it Michael and Sarah from the Middle East, or at least Middle East heritage?
Ooh, he might be, but
let me look it up. Let me look it up.
All I know is he played a lot of Indians back in the day, and a genie. A lot of Indians and a genie. But yeah, I'm thinking he might be Middle East, but I don't know if that.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
because I'm not entirely sure. That's why I was asking the question.
Yeah, good question. Good question. Well, it's like Iron Eyes Cody. You know, he was a Sicilian. But no, I mean, again, if you're going to impose that there is no religion on Earth or in the Federation or with humans, that's the dumbest thing ever. Because
Okay, he was
people
a
know
Syrian American
what's
actor.
doing. Ha
Yes.
ha ha. But we never liked people like that. We never respected them or wanted them acting or couldn't wait to see them again in something else.
Really?
Yeah. My first experience of him was Buck Rogers
Well,
as King.
The original series was mine.
one of the I don't know, it's also about the family of Picard and how people feel, all this stuff. They don't why should they care? And I know people are like, I know we get people even in the chat, these people are talentless. It's like maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but the whole thing is like they don't want to respect, but this keeps going on and on and on. I mean, it doesn't matter what franchise it is. There's just people out there that are like, this is wrong, that is wrong, these characters are wrong, this female can't look like this, and on and on and on and on. And it's just like everything then becomes less and less and less. Let's see how goofy we can make this. Okay, well, what about an episode that's not goofy? No, we can't have that. That's too serious. That'll make people feel something. We can't have that. Like you had said, Baron, it's all, I don't want to feel that. So.
Well, you want a controversial take? I'll give you all a controversial take here.
Okay, let's hear it.
I do believe that a lot of these people who are involved have some level of talent. Depends on the individual and whatnot, a certain level. The thing is they've been lulled into a complacency where they're not told to. In other words, you might have the talent, but if you don't work on it, you don't get better. In fact, sometimes you regress. And I think you do have this. I think you've had enough people blowing smoke up their derrieres. And whether it is from identity politics, and I'm not talking about government, like government ones, but identity, like, no matter what you do, it's good type of thing, or your gender identity or whatever. Everything starts going around to a selfish ideal instead of a more encompassing everything around. And I think if you grab some of these people that have been working on this, I'll even go so far to say even some of these people that write these sycophant sites like Red Shirts Must Die and stuff like that. If you just give them a good slap,
that day you and I were going through a couple one of their communist articles, and
I think some of these people. Now, I'm not saying all. I did not say all, though. I said, but I think there are some. If you give them a good swipe to the back of the head, the hard restart, you might say, to the brain, and
why not an old-fashioned clean-on headbutt?
Well, I was trying to be nice here. I was thinking your channel, man. I was thinking your channel. But no, and actually make it so they sit down and they listen to you. And you make them engage in conversation. You don't have a choice. You sit there and we talk. Who knows what might happen? Maybe they'll start seeing the errors their way. And it's like, do you want to be known where, when they bring up Trek, DC Fontana, like DC Fontana, Harlan Ellison, like Ted Sturgeon, like Robert Bloch, like Gene Roddenberry, like Gene Kuhn, like Rick Berman, on and on and on.
Jerry Taylor,
Piller, right?
Robert Hugh Wolf,
right?
Ronald D. Moore,
or even Michael Jan Freeman when it comes to the books, or Peter David, because they're not going to remember your name. They're not going to remember your contribution because your contribution is nothing.
Just like people still remember Harlan Ellison's contribution to Star Trek.
Yeah. No, who's Harlan Ellison?
This coming from a guy who's actually talked to him.
Right, exactly.
But no, and David Gerald too. But that's just it. Do you want to be known in they start saying something, are you just going to be at best a footnote somewheres on what not to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then they start explaining. And it's like, no, you're going to sit down and you're going to start watching some of these. And then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Right.
And we'll see what your take is. My take is we'll discuss everything. Because that's how Star Trek should be.
Yes.
It's not a soapbox per se, even though, like anything else, you do have your soapbox episodes and
Yes.
soapbox stories.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, everything falls in that trap now and then. You just don't want to make sure it doesn't happen very often. Let this be your last battlefield. That's a soapbox episode. I never cared much about the episode. I thought it was very simplistic on the approach and everything. And obviously, it must be the point because they keep on bringing back this dead race every time we turn around, whether it's Section 31 or Starfleet Academy, that, hey, aren't you dead? You know? I mean, there was only two left.
You know,
And, you know...
it's basically you paraphrasing Kirk's line to McCoy in Star Trek 2. Aren't you dead?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, it was Spock.
It was Spock, yes. As they're coming out of the...
I corrected myself. I was like, no, you idiot. You know who it is.
Well, like I said, it's just...
it was foreshadowing for the later on in the film.
Mm-hmm.
You take away the raw emotion, you take away this, even when people got kidnapped and stuff, like it's just like what we just saw on Voyager. It's just like you actually feel something. Now, I agree, and I've had this conversation with Phil and probably other people that yes, things can just be entertaining, but still, as we know from years and years of all this entertainment from Turtles and all kinds of stuff, this stuff makes you feel something. Hey, maybe, and guess what? This stuff actually inspires people to start teams and start fan clubs and start all kinds of stuff. But
I started writing my own Star Trek stories because of Star Trek itself.
You get inspired by Star Wars. You get inspired by this. That's why these other stories. That's why these fan projects. But when you want to make all this stuff every time less, and it keeps happening, it doesn't stop. It doesn't matter what it is all the time. And there's not this emotion anymore for you to really feel anything, and it's like, oh, but it's still good because there's other people I've talked to, it's fine because it's not beating you over the head until it does beat you over the head with the message, until it does stop.
Although that's what Red Sonja was trying to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And
I'm not talking about the 85 movie. I'm talking about the 2025.
I know which one you were talking about.
People have every right.
I'm letting the folks out there know which one I'm talking about.
And
there's only one Red Sonja film, folks. There's only one.
It's just
don't listen to that guy.
It should have never gotten to this point, but it's gotten to the point now where you want to go to these conventions, go to these panels and say, what exactly do you know about this? Because what you're putting out is not what what do you know? It's like, let's go over it for a few hours, but you won't. You don't want to debate with the fans. You don't want to hear our opinions. You think everything that you do is completely right, that you understand these properties, these projects, whatever. You think 10 writers, you don't need 10 writers to come up with it.
No.
You could have one person.
You could have two writers come up with a good idea.
But why? You guys have to understand, this is also still a business. You're supposed to be making money. And so when you stop making money, of course, in Amazon's position with Rings of Power or whatever, they're just like, oh, we'll just keep putting this stuff out. And it's just like what Phil says. We'll keep putting out this stuff because we know at some point they're going to have to accept it and love it.
Well, the thing is,
and it's horrible that they feel that way, but that's their narcissism. That's their narcissism. Yeah.
Well, see, and think about it. Obviously they're even more noble, but, this is a high level of being noble form of making money and going out there and making money, making people happy, making people have a moment to breathe in life, having people enjoy something.
Right.
People sit back and say, "But I'm making money in corporate." It's like, you know what? I'd rather see a corporation doing that than trying to hawk a bunch of drugs that has side effect list that goes on for about 15 volumes, and before you know it, you have to poop your liver out because all that's left is some pureed junk. No, this is where it is, and again, it comes down to the customer's always right. Now, you're not going to win everybody over. Not everybody's going to be a fan. You're going to have people that be part of it and go, yeah, it's not my thing after a while. Or you'll start having people that start joining in. You have to do a change. You lose people, you gain people. Like happened with me with Cheers. They gained me as a viewer when Rebecca Howe showed up. Then I went back and started watching other stuff. They lost people because Diane Chambers left. But the thing is you're still going out there and doing your best to make people happy and have a breather, and not try to treat them like a bunch of idiots. I
want to see. We don't get characters like Barclay because it's like, oh well, he's just a creep, or no, he was more than that, and so it's just his feelings about stuff, or he got obsessed with something. Those things happen in real life, obviously, unfortunately, but they were showing you that you had the raw emotion with Picard, with the situations of the Borg, First Contact, all kinds of stuff. But there has to be background, there has to be history, and this is what just keeps building. It doesn't matter what show it is, what movie it is, what book it is. It's always, and we keep talking about this, of course, but it's just, it never changes. And so once again, everything is this character can't be this. It's like, no, you can make this female character great. You can make this male character great. You can make this other character great, but you just have to keep building. And you still get people today who are like, no, we have to change this gender. We have to change this because this is already a popular character. And if we take a character that we're just making, then it's not, how do you know that it's not going to become popular? Are you going to work on it? Are you going to build it? What are you going to do with it? What different destination do you want to go with it? If the character dies, how is it going to be with the other crew or the other team or whatever? But no, let's not think about those things anymore. That doesn't matter anymore. We have to erase all that because that's wrong and this is right. And we have to insult these characters over and over and over again because it has to be that way. They can't be this way. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, going back to the original Trek and Next Generation, whatever, the topics that they discuss on those, even all the way back to the original show, sadly, in many cases, are still topics for today. And but then you got the odd thing that comes around where it actually was a little bit ahead of its time. And you mentioned it, Cash, Barclay. At the time when you had the Barclay episodes, we really didn't have the internet per se. We didn't really have AI, right? But you had you had the fanatical, at the worst, John Hinckley trying to impress people by a young lady by trying to shoot a president. You had that type of unhingedness, and I wouldn't call Barclay unhinged. So, but
Barclay was more of a loner.
Right. It actually is. Barclay episodes, and especially how he started out, is much more pertinent today than it was when it first came out, because now you do have the AI girlfriend, people who are alone, coming out of the Kufadoof, where people are still suffering from that separation from all of society, sometimes by gunpoint from the government. To do that, people are still suffering that, and of course, you already have people that might have already had problems enough with interpersonal connections. Now it's even more so that I got my AI girlfriend, and when I get my doll thing, I'll make sure I can download that AI into the doll, so everything's going through there. And now I got my dream. No, you don't. You got a mockery of life. And so here Star Trek was ahead of the crew, on that one. You might have been thinking, oh yeah, we can kind of do something on that aspect, but lo and behold, let's move it forward about 30 years, and it's like, now we can see the same but yet different light.
Well, it's just right. It's just like Geordi. Okay, he's blind, for example, but what
Right.
he cares about people.
All right.
He
He
he's
overcame that
he.
disability
That's
because of
right.
his visor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And eventually his ocular implant.
That's right.
Right.
And so he wants he understands that what his job is. He knows he needs to get better with women, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
for when you see season 3 of Picard and they're changing things, cocking of the phasers, whatever it is, it doesn't it it doesn't it's ridiculous because like why are we doing this stuff? Or Beverly is yelling at Picard. Why? Why is Beverly yelling? There needs to be a good reason for these things. It's just they're just doing because I
Or
can.
Picard going to the
Right.
Romulans and going, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Right. I'm
so
sorry. I'm sorry. You know, it's ridiculous. Yes, I know he's supposed to be a Frenchman or he's not or he's British, whatever. But is it I feel like what Phil says, he's one of the only few people I've ever had that conversation with. But it's just that's fine. But Picard, it's like, okay, I want to follow this guy. However you feel about Janeway, I know I can argue with her. Maybe she'll see my point on something. But now it's like you look at these captains, I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what they do. They don't matter. And so other people will say, oh, you're just this and you're that. See, once again, you're proving my point.
Well, yeah,
So you're not. The building is not there. And so with Janeway, there was still some building. Obviously, with Picard, there's building. Obviously, Kirk, there's building. But I don't mind following any kind of captain who's a man, woman, whatever. Are you strong? What kind of leadership skills do you have? What are you going to do in a crisis situation? You know, so we see that with Janeway and Archer and other captains. But these people, the Holly Hunter, no, I don't want to. You wouldn't want to be a part of. The three of us would want to be a part of her academy. No, she's a nutcase. You know, and she doesn't have to be. But whatever. That's
I'd walk myself out the airlock. Bye, everybody. But no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just it. And when it comes to it, you know, we present reasons why this is a problem that we got going through here. We're going through okay, first of all, you're looking at this. What is the response back? Personal assaults.
That's right.
Personal attacks.
Yes.
And it's like, if that's all you got, you're a loser. And no, that's not an attack on you. That's just stating a fact. You're a loser because you cannot, in any way, shape, and form, take me on by the substance. I wish you would.
Right. I want to
I love that. I would relish it because I'm bored of you. That's why I don't want to talk to fans.
That's why it drives me crazy. It doesn't matter what you watch. It's like, why is the character staying quiet here? Because they have to? Because for whatever reason, what race they are? That's the way you feel because of the way that they build this up. Instead of saying, no, I'm not going to put up with that nonsense. Oh, I need to stay quiet. What did this police officer said? No, I'm supposed to be this hero. Okay, I'm trying to help the situation. Why are you treating me like this or trying to? But they don't. They want to just stay quiet. They have to stay reserved because how dare this male character say this to this female? No, you can't have that. You've got to have good banter. You can know Chakotay is going to say to Janeway, no, I don't think this is a good idea if he feels it's not a good idea. And we see that through the show in Voyager. But now, are we ever going to see that kind of stuff again in Trek? Maybe, but it depends the people who work on it and basically slamming down their hands on a table and saying, no, we're not going to do that. That's not working. Look at what happened before. Yeah.
Well, look at Kira and Sisko.
Exactly.
Yes.
They
Chakotay and Janeway.
Exactly. They all, and that's what they're supposed to do. You go, like you said, a space opera. That's why Mass Effect, you see the thing, Shepard, we can't do this. No, we're going to have to do this. I know it's going to be hard, but you're going to have to accept it.
Well, even with Mass Effect, you can see where the writers of the game took elements of Star Trek.
Oh, definitely. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. If you're going to do anything that has any form of thinking,
yes,
and reasoning, you would have that. And of course, and you just can't even put that with Star Trek. Let's go to the proto Star Trek, the true pilot movie of Star Trek, Forbidden Planet. Right.
Gotcha,
And
yeah.
and other ones like The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Right.
I mean, these movies, yeah, they're 50 films and all that, but look at what they were dealing with, what they were tackling on there, what they're bringing forward for discussion, debate, argument, or whatever you want to call it on. And Star Trek continues on, and it of course comes also from the pulps, the pulp magazines, pulp novels, whether it's Asimov, Clark, Doc Smith, Kornbluth, Pohl, Anderson, it doesn't Sturgeon and Block, even throw those guys in. It doesn't matter. This is their playground. They were and they were able to use it, and they were able to use it pretty darn good.
Yep.
I mean, not always perfect, that's why like A. Van Vogt is one of those you can either take or leave. And I'll guarantee you one thing: you can read a book by A. Van Vogt, and you will either like it or you will hate it. There is no in between. But the thing is, you have to go from book to book. You cannot have it as the overall run of A. Van Vogt. You have to take it from each book.
Right.
And finding out that his writing came about because he'd wake up from a dream and hastily write down all the stuff, and then in the morning or whatever, he'd take those notes and work on the story. Well, no wonder why.
Yep. Yeah, it's just so crazy to me. It doesn't matter if it's a fantasy show. It doesn't matter what it is. But you can't go and be like, okay, I've got this idea to a lot of Hollywood still, because they're like, oh, does it have this checkbox? Does it have this? No, this is my vision. I don't want you changing my vision. So not enough, not a lot, but I want banter. And if a character is like, wait a second, aren't you supposed to be with this person, so now you're a lesbian now? They're afraid to say that because, oh, how terrible. But even if you're going to go into a crazy direction with Trek being M for mature, it's just like, all right, go. You got to go crazy and say it, like 7 and 9. What happened to Chakotay and stuff?
Trek isn't supposed to be.
Of course not.
And for mature, it's supposed to be for families.
That's the whole thing. It's not.
Yeah.
But since they wanted to go in that direction, then you have to, right. But you can't, even when you want to, push sexual relations, whatever you want to do, it's just, there has to be all this building. Like, how does it ever make sense for 7 of 9 to now be with women? Oh, that's just the way it is. She's changed her mind. That's such a cop-out.
Yeah, I know.
That's just always a cop-out. What about Chakotay? What if somebody asks about Chakotay? Oh, we can't do that anymore. Doesn't matter what his feelings were for 7 and 9. That's stupid. Let's connect these things. That helps, of course, with the building. You don't just have to have member berries, but you can do some member berries and say, oh, yeah, that's cool that they added that in there, instead of just tons of it.
Well, but, when it comes to 7 and 9 and Chakotay, I don't think that's where they should have gone for a relationship. I think it should have been B'Elanna and Chakotay.
Mm-hmm. Why not? Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I just saw something brilliant and I forgot it, so it must have not been that brilliant. Don't mind me, folks.
He's losing it, guys. He's losing it.
No, I've lost it. I've lost it. I lost it a long time ago. I'm afraid to admit that.
You don't go full pack lead. Nobody ever goes full pack lead.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did that a long time ago, so I'm still suffering from the effects. I didn't take a look at the of the side effects from going full pack lead. It may cause this, or this. But yeah, I mean, okay, this is what I was going to say. Every show does have a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
But the checklist isn't this overall encompassing, oh, I'm Christopher Nolan, I want to win an award, so I'm going to fill all of Hollywood's checklists and compromise my being a maverick in creativity so I can win an award by giving you garbage to no, this is the checklist for this universe. This happens, this happens, this happens. You have this, and this. Boom. But you don't have this, and that. So everything, everything has that checklist. Is it going to be the micro or the macro? Again, like before on those with it. Star Wars's checklist is going to be different than Star Trek. Star Trek is going to be different than Doctor Who. Doctor Who is going to be different from Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Buck Rogers in the 25th century is going to be different from the Bionic Man.
And Babylon 5. Let's not forget Babylon 5.
Oh, how can we forget Babylon 5? Everything's got its own checklist, as I like to call it, the lane. Are you going to stay in the lane or not? So, and that's the one thing that needs to be heavily explained to people, that you have these, and as long as you are within what this universe allows, you can take it right to the curb, go right to the curb if need be on something, and then you might have yourself that memorable episode that you don't want to do too many of it, because then you start losing that uniqueness, the importance of the episode. Like
you start losing what makes the show special. Right.
Like Family. I mean, that episode is completely, utterly unique in the entire Star Trek franchise. So if Roddenberry was still around and functioning, he would not have approved that.
No.
But the thing is it still turned out to be an episode that we did need to have. It explained great character building. It would stay within the lanes, but obviously it went to the one end. But you don't want to do too many of those, because then it loses the impact of that episode.
I was on a stream because you mentioned Family. I was on a stream and we were talking about the Star Trek movies, the 10 Star Trek movies that had come out. And, we were talking about First Contact, and one person mentioned that First Contact deals with Picard's post-traumatic stress after being assimilated by the Borg. And it was me and a few other people that had to bring up the fact that it was Family that had already done that.
Yeah. And reconciling with his brother while doing so.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And the person didn't believe me when I had mentioned it. I said, no, Family already dealt with that issue.
Okay, you were right. I was wrong.
No, it wasn't you there.
I know it wasn't me. I know.
But see, another reason why I'm bringing that up is because even within our own fan base, being Star Trek, we have debates with each other.
Right. And we forget things now and then, or maybe it's something along the way that we never saw, or it doesn't matter. Just like I'm never going to say anything about being an expert on Voyager. Because
I haven't watched it enough.
Actually, Baron.
You're actually me. Yeah,
I haven't.
Your turn.
Like, I've watched Voyager, but not as extensively as Mike has. It's like he throws these things out. I'm like, oh shit! All right, let me go into my book.
Actually, Cash.
Actually.
Oh yeah, Belana.
As I'm the one smoking the pipe.
Yeah.
Actually, it was in this episode here of Voyager where this happened to Neelix.
I just, I'm also like, because I have access to all this stuff, Paramount Plus and whatever. I just go, all right, Spock, why don't you? If we decide to watch some Trek, or even Crit wants to watch some Deep Space Nine, I'm like, all right, guys, why don't you, pick out some episodes and we'll watch them, some of your favorites or whatever. I see these characters for what they are, but growing up with Next Generation, being a young kid, it's like to see what they've done to Picard and the fact that Patrick Stewart, I don't care. It's like
He
it
approved it.
drives me nuts.
He
I know.
didn't want to have anything to do with what Picard was, what Star Trek originally was.
It's
Mhm.
ridiculous to me. So I just go, why do I have to keep seeing him disrespected? And there's other people. Oh, Picard season 3. Yeah, Picard season 3. There's no problems with it, not at all.
Oh
The
no,
disrespect.
not at all. No, not
You
at
know,
all. Watching Picard season 3, where there wasn't one episode where I didn't have something
I mean,
to point out and say, no, this wouldn't have happened. It was like, okay, what was the whole point of Julian working hard to come up with a cure for the changeling disease in Deep Space Nine, huh?
yeah, I
But-
just
Don't
the,
tell
the
me.
whole-
But Mike, you gotta
Yeah.
understand, it's the first time in the television history of Star Trek that the Sovereign class appeared. Don't you understand how important that was? Come on, Mike, don't you know?
that's why I always laugh when Chris had said before, "Thank you, Terry." It's just the way he says it makes me laugh, but it's just
Let's not forget the first episode at Guinan's Bar, 10 Forward. Wow, what an original name. But, the girl behind the bar calling the Galaxy class the fat one. Please, even someone who works at a bar in the 25th century would know that that's a Galaxy class starship.
I miss those conversations in Trek that I've always enjoyed, where there's just good banter. So they sit down and they're off duty right now and they're having a heated conversation, or a fight breaks out or doesn't break out, and they're just reminiscing. I mean, I can honestly say there were some good conversations in Picard, and then everything else is just goes crazy. This whole thing about the changelings and then the Borg, and that's how we had to have the Borg in season 1, so it has to continue. And you got another Crusher; he's the chosen one.
Well,
It's like, this is
Well,
ridiculous.
one of the things I had a problem with was the captain of the Titan, Captain Shaw, having knowledge of something that Q created when it came to the anomaly in the Debron system. Only Picard knew about it, because it was the imagination of Q. It was something that
Right.
Q threw Picard into.
Yep.
It was only Picard telling Counselor Troy and the rest of the senior staff, this is what happened. And these were the possible futures that Q presented.
I love seeing background of a younger Picard and things that he did or what happened before when he got
he was
together
reckless.
with friends and so on. Yes, I love seeing
He
that,
was reckless
how he
and
grew.
got stabbed in the back
Yes.
by a Nautican.
Right.
Yep.
And
he had hair.
Even before Tapestry even aired, Picard tells Wesley the story about what happened in season 2 of Next Generation.
Right.
Right. About his recklessness and such. So, yeah.
It's even when we went back and we watched all those
Phil.
seasons again with Paul, and when we were doing the other Trek stuff, it's just like, and it had been so many years since I've seen a lot of these episodes, and it was like, yeah, okay, this one, analyzing it more, yeah, I understand why people have some problems with Deanna Troi and stuff. But still, her character cared. There was it made the relationship between her and Riker were interesting. So there was a lot of interesting stuff with Geordi, all the stuff. But now it's like we've just become very cynical, because it's just, guys, what are you doing? We insult these characters. We don't care about banter. We don't care about this. We don't care about leadership. We don't care about chain of command. We don't care about this. This is all the stuff that we have in Trek. Even freaking STO.
No, all they care about is crying in corridors.
Gosh. That's right. Exactly. My feelings, my this. Oh, what sexual relationship did I have today? All right.
My feelings.
How does it matter? Right. My feelings.
I mean, for them, they'd probably turn around and have the Star Trek San Francisco will probably be the next Kurtzman era Star Trek show. And to heighten that point, people will just be walking along in the corridors and drop trowel and poop, and then continue on to live the name of San Francisco, and they'll think it's the most brilliant Star Trek ever.
Right. I love that whole thing in Voyage Home where the whales have to save the future. I love that kind of stuff. But people are not thinking about that. Like the funny dialogue, how, oh, the future. It's like, oh, how quaint. Like using the
there are funny moments in
Yes.
Star Trek 4.
Yes.
It's a fish out of water story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because our main characters are in the past. They're not familiar with how things are done in the 20th century.
Yes.
With, being thrown in there. Oh, sure, they could read about it in Star Trek's history about what happened in the 20th century, but they're literally a fish out of water going to that particular point in time to get George and Gracie, and just the slang that's used. The colorful metaphors.
I mean, they might have been out of it, but they sure did know they're dumbasses.
What? Where you going, you dumbass? Well, tell dumbass on you. Speaking of which, I'll let everybody know what else will be coming up. But speaking of which, November 28th is when we're going to be watching the Voyage Home. And prior to that, we're going to be watching First Contact. And that'll be on November 14th. And then on October 24th, prior to First Contact, we're going to be watching Best of Both Worlds. And on October 10th, we're going to be watching Q Who. Why are we watching Q Who and Best of Both Worlds? Because they're the most important episodes to watch before First Contact when you're dealing with work.
Well, yeah, I mean, for all of Star Trek, that was a game changer. It was a huge game changer.
Here's another question for you guys. What do you guys like anything of Nemesis? Because obviously Nemesis is a mess, and it was the worst of the Next Generation movies. I can honestly say that.
Blue skies smiling on me, nothing but blue skies. That's one good thing out of it. You heard Data singing.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but
again,
I've never been asked if there's anything of Nemesis I actually do like, and I have to be there with Baron when they're doing the wedding reception on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
I like that scene a lot.
Right. We got to see the new dress uniforms, and they cut up Wesley scenes, and and that long, strange trek, all pun intended, of Riker and Troy coming to you could say a conclusion because that was going to be the last Star Trek. But here they were. They meet up again, meet up on the Enterprise as former lovers, and they flirt back and forth, back and such. Do their own things
for a little bit.
Yeah, and then she dates Worf, and then she starts flirting back to Riker, and we get a big foreshadowing of that with Best of All Good Things, where something happened, and Worf
something
and Riker
happened.
don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other, but also you got to give a lot of credit to Insurrection. I know people have mixed feelings about that movie too. But Insurrection is where it reignites the love between Riker and Troy. But things that I like about Nemesis, Commander Tanatra, how she opposes Shinzon, and sees that he's serious trouble, not just for the Federation, but for Romulus itself.
Yeah, there's other reasons why you like her too.
Oh, come on, Dina Meyer, man. Come on.
I know. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing different aspects of the Romulan government in there. And that was nice. It just, there was so much possibility that they could have done with that movie, but a Picard clone. It's like, come on. It's like, can we just be a little bit more original with all this? And Ron Perlman actually looking better than he ever had in that film with his makeup work. And
Well, I mean, apparently Tom Hardy had a bad experience with Nemesis, and I don't know if he'll even mention it today.
Yeah. It was bad enough that he went on and did Fury Road.
I still have never watched the movie. Sometime, I guess.
Some year.
But I mean, honestly, I can't think of too much when it comes to Nemesis that it actually makes me go, yeah,
Exactly.
that was a good movie.
Yeah,
Maybe one of the action scenes was having the Enterprise ram the scimitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those.
McFadden on there.
It's not like when Star Trek 4 comes up or Star Trek 6, and you watch that over and over again. You're like, "Fuck, man, I can't get enough of this. Like, I can't get tired of this." It's just too. It's just
speaking
too good.
of Star Trek 6, we'll be watching that on December 12th.
Very good film. Very good movie.
And the thing is, I could do at least one of them on their actual anniversary date, but I don't want to keep shifting the Adventure Continues day, since it is supposed to be a Saturday stream. I want to try to stick it to Saturday as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I could show you guys what I've done as far as a couple of the thumbnails. I might have to change the episode number in the future, but I just did it to have certain things ready. If you want to see them, if you don't want to see them, that's fine.
I'm always game for stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm easy.
Let me pull them up. Give me a moment.
No matter how often I tell women that, I still don't get dates. I'm easy.
Seems desperate.
I know, bad joke.
I was gonna say
I'm a Star Trek fan. Of course, I was in them.
It seems desperate, and then it also seems like you'd be a little clean, and I don't mean clean on.
No, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just gotta get it to the load up.
Yeah,
he's a loading.
Well, as soon as it wants to cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much about Nemesis, though, too. Like B4. Oh, great! Another soon android. Great.
Thanks, Brent.
Yeah,
it's just the Nemesis and some of these other Trek movies. Yeah. I just don't remember them very well because he just didn't really do much for me. And I think I saw Nemesis in the theaters, but it must have not really had much of an impact on me.
No, I never saw it in the theater. Thank God. I'm glad I didn't. I would have been so mad.
I just was like, clone of Picard.
I enjoyed Star Trek 5 better than this.
I did see Nemesis in the theater.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And I don't like the I didn't like the concept of the Remans either. It's like,
gosh, I don't remember a lot of that stuff.
Good.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is. If I'm telling you good, then
good.
It's a good thing. Like Martha Stewart.
But when you had two hot redheads in that movie, though, Gates McFadden and Dinah Meyer, it's like, there's your good. There's your good. But obviously she wasn't red-haired in the movie because she's a Romulan, but
Yeah.
Right.
But this is what I did for Star Trek 6. Now, I do have a finished version, but I'm showing you the original version before I added it to the thumbnail template of The Adventure Continues. But this is
Let him die.
What I did.
Is that supposed to be you, Mike?
No,
No,
it's
dude.
Christopher Plummer
Yes,
as General
it is.
Chain.
Yeah, but you're kind of missing his. Did he have a mustache?
Yes,
Hmm.
I don't see one.
he. That's because of how vibrant the red is. You can't really see it, but it's
I think
there.
it's him. He inserted himself.
It's not me. It's not a
It's not
self-insert.
actually.
Did you? I'm sure you know this, but the bolts that they have that supposed to be keeping his eye patch on had little Klingon symbols on them. I thought that was absolutely neat, but you never saw it because it's such a small detail.
I'll have to look at it when we watch it. I
Mhm.
don't think I've ever picked up on that detail before.
Yeah, I the only reason why I knew is because they it's post production or photos or behind the scene photos where they were up close and showing, and yeah, there's a little Klingons. You might not see it in the film, but they're there. It's like, ooh, I thought that was cool.
I think it's cool. I'm not going to tell you it's not when they care that much to throw in that small of a detail that maybe a lot of people wouldn't even catch.
Well, I figure you'd care because you're a Klingon at heart.
I am always a Klingon there, Baron. Remember that. All right. So let me bring up this other one as long as it cooperates with me.
Unlike me. I'm surprised you didn't know that, Mike. I thought you would have sat back. Baron, I know this.
No, I
You
didn't. I
surprised me.
didn't know it. I did not. I did not know that. No, sir. I did not know that.
I didn't know that. Hello.
No, I mean, again, I've said it before. I may have Star Trek knowledge, but there's always going to be someone that's going to know something that I don't.
Yeah, same here. I mean, you can't know every freaking thing out there. I mean, honestly. That's why you need a team.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Cash is not part of it, because he doesn't know anything.
Oh, he knows, and like he says, when he doesn't know something, that's when he listens to one of us.
That's when he takes his nap.
Oh, I thought that's when you took your nap.
I'm taking a nap right now.
All right.
But that's what's great about having the fans come together. Someone will know a little thing. Oh, like what I told you about the Stargazer model having a transformer as part of it. First Contact.
Yep. That's what I decided to do for First Contact. I, of course, made the larger version of this, but then I shrunk it down. And again, just because it says episode 41 doesn't mean it's going to be episode 41. That's subject to change. I just put it there as, a little prep for the future.
It's a placeholder.
Yes. Yes, it is. One of us.
Simulate this.
And as you saw with Star Trek 6, we're watching the director's cut.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any other way. That and Star Trek 2. I think that's the only way you can get the those films is the director's cuts.
I was looking. You can still buy the theatrical version.
Really? I'd rather have the director's.
I'd rather have the director's cut. I mean, I have Star Trek 6, the director's cut on DVD. I have the theatrical version on Blu-ray. I need to get the director's cut in my collection. And it's not that expensive.
No. Yeah, I mean, the only way you could get it on VHS was the director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they just didn't do that one. I think it added so much more to the film. Honestly.
Yeah, especially when they're coming up with their plan to free Kirk and McCoy.
Yeah. and it made the ending even much more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
For Rene Bergeron, it's like
Rene Auberjonois.
Bergeron, yeah, we, and and I think really Colonel West was a changeling.
You do you?
Yeah. It was was the start. It was the start of the whole Dominion thing.
And why do you say that? I'm just curious to know why do you think he was a changeling?
Because it's Rene Auberjonois in Odo. Come on, Odo, man. No, I'm just
Yes,
joking.
but Odo didn't have his shape-shifting abilities.
Well, I didn't say it was Odo.
Yeah, he hadn't even been discovered yet.
No, no, I didn't say it was Odo. I just said a changeling.
Baron,
What?
give you a hard time because that's what we do.
I know. I'm playing along.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You're about that?
Yeah. Cash isn't, but I am.
Well, I can't get the other one to load up, but
Damn.
What it was is I pretty much just took the Star Trek for the Voyage Home poster and used that for the thumbnail and for that episode of The Adventure Continues because I've always liked that poster and I thought I can't improve on perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm leaving it. But yes, we have more episodes to come. Of course, we also have Return to Tomorrow. That's going to be the next episode of The Adventure Continues after tonight. And that'll be September 5th. And then, of course, we have the big 60th anniversary stream for Star Trek on Tuesday, September 8th for The Adventure Continues. So that one's not going to have an episode. That's just going to be an all-around discussion with a panel of guests. Of course, Baron and Cash are going to be there as well. DJ, I've been meaning to get in touch with you to see if you might be available for that night. And
well, forget DJ. Is Reggie available? We want Reggie. That's what
you want the android?
Yeah. I mean, Star Trek. We got to have the viewpoint of Data from one of his people.
Well, we have the logical Vulcan and DJ, our science officer.
I thought that was Spock. Spockle.
I mean, Spockle. He's our DJ when it comes to music.
Well, I mean, because DJ Ronnie, he communes with turtles. He's like dances with turtles.
Yes, he goes to turtle. I had it in my head, and I was trying to say it out loud. And it's like, oh, it sounds so stupid. So he went to the planetoid of the turtles, and he's been an ambassador from the Federation to the turtle planet, and he's making good progress.
But sadly, he's not turtly enough to be part of the Turtle Club.
No, they look at him and say no.
Mm-hmm. Something about racial appropriation. I don't know.
But gentlemen, let's say we get out of here. We have gone over the time that I usually like to run these, and
yeah, I noticed that.
But before we do get out of here, is there anything or anyone you'd like to promote?
No, us, a good friend of our channel, Pops. I never will stop promoting Pops because he's a great guy, and I think more people should discover him. No, he's a real deal out there, folks. Other than that, Cash waking up, I promote that. Wake up, Cash.
What?
Yeah, he fell asleep.
I'm here.
Face first in his tofu. That's what happened. Oh, you know what I also want to promote? Not watching Red Sonja.
Don't watch Red Sonja 2025.
Oh.
Oh. That movie.
Oh God.
And I have no qualm saying this. If you didn't like our commentary for that night, let's just say one thing. Try watching that movie, and you would probably be saying the same thing.
The only way you should not have liked our commentary is because we were too nice. That's all I gotta say. Oh, God help us all. Chrome help us all.
Chrome. No
Chrome.
reference to Chrome either.
Nope. Art Sumerians.
Nope. It was only Red Sonja name, if even that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was supposed to be part of the Conan multiverse film series.
Yeah, and then the Jason Momoa one bombed.
Yeah. Oh, that's what kept Red Sonja from coming out, and of course Conan 2 never happened.
Nope.
Dun, dun,
But Cash isn't here, so I'll just let everybody know that the three of us will be back tomorrow night for Pop Talk. We're going to be talking about Disney snubbing Jim Cummings at their recent D23 event for an award, for an accolade that they usually give those who have contributed to Disney for a length of time.
Disney has been trying for a while now to really destroy that man.
Yeah, because he has a different points of view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that man being Jim Cummings has voiced many characters outside of Disney too. He was the original voice of Leatherhead in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been a couple of Transformer characters. And you know, anytime you hear his voice, you know it's him because he has that distinct voice.
Right.
He's been a part of Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could go through a list of his credits, and I will tomorrow, but not tonight. But that man has been a part of our lives for the last 40 years. And for Disney not to give him this award for his contributions to their company, it's a travesty.
Yep.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about Dave Bautista being cast as Kratos in the live-action God of War series.
What do you think of that, boy?
I don't think that's a good idea, boy.
I don't think so either.
No,
God.
I don't think he's a good fit. I really don't.
Especially now that he's not as
If
what he
he's
used to
gonna
be.
play Kratos, he needs to pack on that muscle again. And then, of course, we are going to talk about the weekend box office and a couple other things for tomorrow night's Pop Talk. Of course, speaking of God of War, I'll be playing more of that Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. All times are 6 p.m. Eastern for the streams on Pacific 4 and 4. Of course, we'll be back for the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, I will be playing more Middle Earth Shadow of War, and instead of doing all the side quests that I was doing the other night, I'm going to concentrate on the main story missions to try to see if I can speed up the gameplay as far as completing the game itself. Of course, I won't be able to complete it Thursday because of what I have to do, but I want to get closer because, yes, on September 15th, and I'm using a gift card to buy it, but I will be playing Wolverine, and don't expect me to be nice to the game if I see something that I don't like. Whether it be dialogue or whether it be the controls. I mean, as far as the scene part, that would be the dialogue or whatever I see on screen. But if the controls suck, I'm going to point it out.
This is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Yep, Cash knows.
What-
Cash knows.
Whatever you guys will hear from him, we would have heard tenfold before. Yeah.
This is fucking bullshit. Fuck this shit. Fucking shit.
DJ says must have been nice to have an office in a box. But no, I mean, Cash is referencing what I was playing Resident Evil Requiem over on the Rumble side, which I am going to play on YouTube come October.
Or Black with Myth Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong was
Yeah,
the main culprit.
That's what
Black Myth, huh?
Black Myth.
Black
Black
Myth Wukong. Gosh, a game that I started last September and didn't
Yeah, those Souls games.
didn't finish until May, almost June.
They put you through the grinder, man.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
yeah,
He was a broken man, folks. Trust me, he was broken.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was just.
I mean,
It got to a point where I was just ready to be done with the game.
it's Evil West, it's other stuff, it's fucking controls. I'm sure some people said, well, maybe it's not the controls, maybe it's a skill issue. No, maybe it
That
is.
was me. I was the one that
Get-
said that.
Or the famous one, get good.
Get good, man.
Learn the code.
But that's what I have coming up. Cash, do you have anything coming up?
Not yet. Soon.
All right.
Not yet.
A nap.
Yes, an app. I'm gonna
Nap.
trace a
Nap.
nap. No, an app. An app, Baron. Come on, an app.
An app for napping.
An app to trace Baron's donut habit. That's what it is. Yes.
Oh, I can tell you don't need an app for that. I'll tell you. I'm more than open to tell people my addiction. I go to DA, Donuts Anonymous. I'm Baron. Hi, Baron. It's been 2 minutes since I had my last donut.
Yeah, he had a
Here, I brought a couple
earlier.
dozen. Anybody want some? I mean,
Yeah,
I
how
feel like
could
the
I-
guy that goes.
You'd be the dealer going there and going, if you want a donut, come on, eat the donut, come on.
You know, I'd be the guy who walks.
I see you eyeing this one right here. This is the one you want.
I would be the one that would walk into a AA meeting with having a 55-gallon keg on a dolly. You know, say, "Hey guys, how's it going? Got plenty of cups. Just speak up."
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Okay, just make sure when you empty the keg, get it back to me. There is a deposit on it. I don't think he's getting it.
Oh boy.
That guy is not smart, is he?
No,
No.
he's SMRT.
Yeah.
But yes, folks, I appreciate everybody who came by tonight. Lady Miss, thank you as always for coming by. Really appreciate it. DJ Ronnie G, thank you very much, brother. Anonymous, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Shane, thank you very much. And Mega Whale, we may not have given you the response you wanted, but we gave you a response to your idea. And honestly, I'm done with the Kelvin universe. I'm done with anything related to J.J. Abrams. I'm done with anything related to Alex Kurtzman. I want real Star Trek back.
Well, I was never on board in the first place, so it was easy for me to kick that habit.
Yeah, well, I went and saw Star Trek 2009. I saw Into Darkness. I saw Beyond. I gave 3 seasons of Discovery a chance. I gave Picard a chance. I know, I really gave him too many chances.
He needed his pain.
Yeah, well, maybe I did. Maybe I did need my pain.
Yeah, well, better you than me.
But Phil, thank you very much. And to anybody who listened, lurked, whether you liked what you heard, whether you didn't like what you heard, appreciate you being here. And Anonymous says always fun. And look forward to seeing you all Sunday. And let's see what DJ says.
Turtles.
I hope 10 tri-cobalt devices get delivered to the Heart of the Kelvin timeline and whatever shit we saw in STD. Don't forget the quantum torpedoes. Send a few of those too. But everybody, thank you. Have a good night and live long and prosper.